Yes, hello everyone, and a very good evening to you all, and welcome to the 70th Cork City Sports here at the brand new MTO Athletics track in Cork, where we have a superb night of athletics ahead for you. The likes of Sarah Lavin, we have Sophie Becker, and of course Darren McEnany and Sophie O'Sullivan, all testing the new track here tonight. And a great local flavour too, with Louise Shanahan, Phil Healy and Nicola Tuthill in the hammer. And of course we have an international star-studded field here tonight. Competitors from 35 different countries competing at this year's Cork City Sports, from as far south as Chile and as far north as Canada. So stay tuned for a fabulous night of athletics as I hand you over now to our commentary team.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Yeah, we are very much looking forward to a fantastic evening of track and field action here at Munster Technological University on the brilliant track, freshly laid, opened just yesterday by the Minister for Sport, Thomas Byrne. I am Cathal Dennehy. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by my co-host, Gerard O'Donnell. How are you?
I'm good, Cathal. Yeah, we're looking forward to a great evening of action here in Cork as always. We missed it last year as the track got relayed, but it is looking spick and span, brand new, ready for some fast times, big jumps and long throws and many more here this evening in Cork. So you can see the schedule is there on screen. The women's hammer throw just getting underway with a truly world-class field in that one. The women's high jump just finishing off their warm-up preparations, kicking off in around 15 minutes time. And the track action gets underway at 6 o'clock with that open 3,000 metres sponsored by John Buckley Sports. But plenty of action to come here between now and just after 9 o'clock this evening. Irish stars and internationals alike.
Yeah, as you can see, there's the first half of the schedule. This is when things start getting serious on the track. The kind of more international races on the track will be coming up just after 7 p.m. That women's 100 metres, you'll see the formerly Ireland's fastest woman, Phil Healy. She'll be running the 100 and the 200 tonight, taking on an international field. There are sub-11 second women in that field. And just scanning down, the shot put men international field there as well. And of course the 100 metre men. Can we see the first ever sub-10 second clocking in Ireland? It's possible. Unlikely, but possible, because there are a couple of men in there who've done it.
Yeah, and on to the very end of the schedule there, as you said, those 100 metres and into the 200s with Irish and international action alike in both of those Series 1s and Series 2s of the men and women's events. Phil Healy, of course, our fastest 200 metre runner for a long time as well, apart from Rashida Adeleke, who broke that record last year. She'll go on that race 2 of the women's 200 metres. And then on to the mile, Cathal, to finish off.
Yeah, that is one heck of a men's mile featuring the last 3 NCAA champions. We'll tee that up, and indeed a 3-time national 1500 metre champion in Cathal Doyle, who has a big kick, but he's going to be up against the likes of Nathan Green, Sam Prakel and Joe Wascombe, the University of Washington Titans. But this is hammer time, Ger.
It absolutely is. Cork 96 FM hammer for women is kicking off. We've got Janae Casanavoid there, top of the list. Brooke Anderson, Jill Shippey, Katie Head, Charlotte Payne, Nicola Tuthill, Rachel Akers, Stamacia Scarvelis, Margaret Hayden and Michelle Dupke there. And of course, number 6 there, Nicola Tuthill of Ireland, is heading to her first Olympic Games, all to be confirmed just yet, but she is within the rankings, has done enough. And a very exciting time for the local athlete here from Cork, and will be putting on a show for the local crowd here before she heads away to Paris.
Yeah, I think we can confirm it, Ger. She is heading to Paris. There's no reason she would not be selected, particularly given the form that she's been in. Nicola Tuthill will be going to Paris.
Yeah, still warm-ups just finishing off here, as you can see on screen. And that kicks off then in a very shortly, a couple of minutes' time, that women's hammer throw. As said, we have world champion from 2022 in there. We've got the world leader in there as well, both from the USA. Unfortunately, their US trials didn't go to plan for both of those athletes, so they won't be heading to Paris. But it's certainly going to be one to eke out long throws from the Irish athletes and the others involved in that one, Cathal. It's going to be a really, really hot contest.
Paris's loss is Munster Technological University's gain. That's what I said, Ger. Because Brooke Anderson, is truly a world-class thrower. 79.92. That is truly outstanding, the world leader. But no marked in the US Olympic trials final this year. And Janae Casanavoid, bronze medalist at the World Championships in 2022, silver medalist last year. But there will be no upgrade to gold, unfortunately, for Casanavoid this year. She did not make the US team, finishing 6th at their trials. But we'll look forward to some huge hammer throwing from them, hopefully, this evening. And just looking out there at the wind, conditions have died down a bit. It was very windy all day. But just talking to some of the meet directors, they were saying things are actually settling, so it's looking a lot better. It's not warm, but it's also not cold. Well, I'm sure some of our Caribbean competitors would tend to dispute that, Ger.
And those of you tuning in internationally will know that the favourite thing for me and Colin to talk about any of our streams is the weather, and there we have it. Cork City Sports weather for this evening. 100% chance of rain at 5 o'clock. Luckily we're past that now, and it's decreasing as the day goes on. It is dry, it's cloudy, but if we can predict that forecast or go with it, then it's going to be not warm, but it's not going to be wet at least.
Looks to me like that forecast is already wrong, because it's 5:30 and it hasn't been raining here for the last 30 minutes.
Exactly. So
listen to us and not the weathermen.
Absolutely. The wind for the sprinters in particular is going the right direction so far. So hopefully it stays that way. It's a little bit blustery, but not too. No gale force winds, and we'll be on the backs of the sprinters, I think, all going well. Of course, we have pole vaults as well as throws and jumps going as well, so they'll be battling different conditions, crosswinds on those pole vaults. And we can see our hammer throwers being introduced to the crowd on the infield. They'll be lining up in order of throwing, I would imagine, as always.
Yeah, we have 10 athletes. I was going to say going to the line, but going to the circle and into that hammer cage. And we could be seeing some big throws. There is Jenny Casanavoid.
And there's Brooke Anderson giving her a wave to the crowd in the sunglasses, keeping the glare off from the bright Cork sky here. Jill Shippey in the pink, another one of those USA track and field athletes who competed in Budapest last year in the hammer throw. Katie Head of Great Britain gets her dues. On to Charlotte Payne, also of Great Britain. And up next is the local star, Ireland's field event hero this year, and gets a rousing reception from the Cork crowd. That is Nicola Tuttle. She will be heading off to Paris very shortly. Rachel Akers in the red and white. And the athlete from Greece, Stamatia Skarvelis, in her Greek top. He gives her a wave. Margaret Hayden, also of Ireland, based in the USA, gives a wave to the crowd. And finally, rounding out the field, Michelle Dupke of Germany, 69 metre thrower at her best. They are introduced and ready to go. They walk back across the infield. We see the crowd, the stadium absolutely packed here. A little bit of pole vault warming up going in the foreground. Stands are filling up.
A lot of people just getting off work as well, let's not forget, and it will be a long evening, so we expect the crowds to continue building over the next hour or two, but those who came early should be treated some world-class hammer throwing in front of their eyes here.
Yeah, and absolutely. And the look of the dry weather, people are able to spread themselves around the track here. There's a grass bank that surrounds the track, so people can get up close and personal with those pole vaults, high jumps and hammer throws. See the athletes right up in person and see what fine specimens we have gracing the track and the field here today in Cork, Cahill.
Yeah, and let's not forget that 40 years ago at the Mardyke, at the Cork City Sports, Yuri Sidik of the USSR, I believe as it was then, threw a world hammer throw record, and him and another thrower, I think, surpassed the world record several times in one evening at the Cork City Sports. So who knows, we might see something special 40 years on at the new host venue, Munster Technological University.
I'm not sure what the law is called, Cahill, but if you want to know the answer to a question like that, make sure you give the wrong information and someone will tell you very, very quickly what the right answer is.
I agree. As you can see, we have some pace lights there on the inside. Or else there's just got some early Christmas decorations up, but I suspect those are pace lights along the path, the inner track, so that'll be huge help to our middle distance runners later on. Yeah, we have our Cork City Council women's high jump field up on screen. So just being adjusted there, we've got Asia Tavernini of Italy, we've got Fedra Figete, Aoife O'Sullivan, Erin Shaw, Berta Maria Haraldsdottir, Una Stancia Stefanovic, Ava Rochford, Glenka Antonia and Summer Leckie in that one. So we've got a lot of Irish interest in that, as well as a truly international field with Italians and Dutch and many, many more in there. Cahill. 35 countries, Ger. Absolutely. And they're all here in the south of Ireland on a county that is riding a high after ending the drive for 5 and my beloved Limerick hurlers. Anyway, we'll see if the Cork athletes can shine equally as bright here on the track before they head off to the Paris Olympics, the likes of Phil Healy and Nicola Tuthill. Tuthill, of course, the 20-year-old star from just outside Bandon, will be entering the throwing circle very soon. She's thrown over 70 metres already this year. Can she surpass her own Irish under-23 record? Could she possibly go up towards 73 and challenge the Irish senior record held by Eileen O'Keefe? Who knows? But before she heads to Paris, it's about 3 weeks now, she will line up at the Olympic Games against the world's best, and she's going to face two of the world's best tonight in Jenny Casanovoid and Brooke Anderson.
Casanovoid just entering the circle here to kick off the field event action here at the Cork City Sports. First event about to get underway. PB 78.00, as you said, truly world class throwing there from Casanovoid, and she begins her rotation and lets that hammer loose. And let's just have a look at, it's going to be just on the very edge of the sector. I think it's going to be a legal throw, and it's just shy of the 70 metre mark, maybe in the 68-50 type range. So gets one on the board, will probably be good enough for at least the top 3 or 4 here this evening, even with that kind of safe opening throw. But gets her competition underway, and I think she's going to get a white flag. She's kind of hit the tape on the sector, and it is getting measured now by the officials. So results of this evening, you can go onto the Cork City Sports website, or else you can type it in yourself. Results.munsterathletics.com should bring you to the live results, especially for those field events. If we are, mid-track action while an athlete that you're paying attention to is taking a jump or a throw, you'll be able to keep an eye on the live results there on that link as well. And we see Brooke Anderson coming in 80 metres 17 PB. Outstanding thrower. Won't be featuring in Paris, unfortunately, but we have her in Cork, and that's all that matters. And she launches that one into the net, her first effort. So she'll have to get something on the mark in the next two rounds, but an X on the card for Brooke Anderson to start.
Yeah, Brooke Anderson is the third longest female hammer thrower of all time. So you truly are watching not just one of the current greats, but the all-time greats of this event when we see her step into the circle. But fingers crossed we'll see a better effort next up. Jill Shippey of the United States into the circle. She's a 74.93 thrower at her best. And that is also out over the 68 metre range, I suspect. Yeah, 68.07 it was from Casanovoid in that first round to take the lead. So that looks very close to what Casanovoid threw from Shippey, as we see Katie Head of Great Britain entering the throwing circle. Katie Head is a 69.72 thrower at her best. So very similar ability to Tuthill, who has been in the 69 metre range throughout this year. That comes down just over 60 metres, about 62 metres. So a solid opening effort there for Shippey, or Head, forgive me. That will probably put her into third place behind Casanovoid and Shippey. There's a band in field, Ger, playing some very mellow music. It's kind of sad almost.
It's somber here. There's a somber atmosphere in the background. They're really building things up slowly here, as we've seen. First of the great British athletes are Katie Head in the circle, and next up is Charlotte Payne, 72.51 at her best. She's in her GB kit. And this Cork 96 FM women's hammer throw, starting off proceedings. The women's high jump due to get underway very, very shortly as well. They're just finishing off their warm-ups. And we'll see Payne. Katie Head 61.71 for her first round throw there. Jill Shippey in the lead at that 68.18. It's a clear throw for Charlotte Payne. Looks to be mid-60s, maybe around 64, 65. She'll slot into third spot halfway through round one of that women's hammer throw. So very early in proceedings here. Long way to go, and up next will be the home favourite, Nicola Tuthill in her UCD singlet.
Yeah, she may have moved from Bandon to UCD, being on that Ad Astra scholarship, but the colour of the vest certainly didn't change, pretty much identical. Besides the logo, she's completed 2 years of her degree at UCD, and I believe studying science, but planning a bit of a move or a pivot towards teaching in the years ahead. 70.32. That is the Irish under-23 record from Tuttle. So here we go, 6 revolutions. She'll be spinning along with them for the last 4, and away it goes. It's well over 60, down around the 64, 65 metre mark. And a warm round of applause from the crowd. It's a very strong opener from the 20-year-old Cork thrower.
64.91 it was from Charlotte Payne, that effort we just seen before this, so she sits in 3rd at the minute. And Tuttle will be very, very close to that in her first round effort. Of course, as you say, it's an under-23 record, not an outright national record. Of course, Eileen O'Keefe, that we've had competing for Ireland in the past, 6 at the World Championships, a really world-class hammer thrower as well. So I'm sure she's somebody that Nicola Tuttle has looked up to as she's progressed, but she's still a very, very young athlete herself. Lots more to come. 63.77 for Tuttle. She goes into 4th place.
Rachel Akers into the circle, 59.12 her personal best. What can she produce here? Currently living in the shadow of Nicola Tuttle, but as is every Irish female hammer thrower. That's not a good one for Akers. Just didn't quite catch it right on exit, so comes up well short of the 50 metre line. But as an almost 60 metre thrower at her best, she'll be looking for a lot more than that in the rounds to come, and she'll have 2 more throws to get it into the top 8, and then the top 8 will have another 3.
Colin, your expert hammer throwing knowledge, how much does the wind affect the hammer throw? You know, at the discus they like a bit of a headwind, it kind of lifts the disc. Javelin, it obviously plays much more of a part when the implement is lighter, but when you've got a couple of kilos of hammer out there, does the wind have that much of an impact?
I defer to other experts.
You should have just said yes.
Yes, I think so. I certainly don't think it has too much of an impact, comparatively to other field events anyway.
This is Stamatia Scarvelis of Greece now into the sector. In the all black. She is absent of number, so we'll get the officials on that one. Don't dish out the DQ, I'm sure, but
it's around 64.
Launches, out towards that middle of the pack range as well. 63, 64 metres. 44.75 was Rachel Akers' effort before that. So 2 more athletes to go in this first round. That women's hammer, all just getting their competition underway with an effective competitive warm-up throw for some of them. Getting the feel of it.
The band have perked up, Ger, and I certainly have too. This is Margaret Hayden of Ireland stepping into the throwing circle. 63.27 her best. If she can challenge that 60 metre line, it would be a very good start for Hayden. And it's short, it's probably in the 57 range, but a good solid effort from Hayden there to start things off. And just to confirm, the leader at the moment, Jill Shippey of the United States, 68.18. Jenny Casanovoid, her countrywoman, 68.07. And then back in 3rd is Charlotte Payne of Great Britain, 64.91. With the home star, Nicola Tuttle, back in 4th, 63.77. But we've seen repeatedly this year that anytime Nicola Tuttle gets into the throwing circle, it tends to be 68 plus metres. She's had phenomenal consistency, and typically, as most high-level athletes know, if you put in consistency like that, it's a matter of time before you launch the big one. Will Nicola Tuttle be able to do it on home turf? This is Michelle Dupke of Germany. She will complete the first round. She is a 69 metre thrower. They've just moved the circle because she is a right-hand thrower.
Turn her PB upside down, it's the same call.
There we go.
And
she turned her technique upside down as opposed to everyone else who were spinning counterclockwise. She was spinning clockwise. Or is that a left-handed thrower?
I'm going to defer to your expert knowledge on the hammer throw once again there, Colin.
Listen, I'll just give my contacts in the hammer throw world a call.
We unfortunately didn't meet throws aficionado Dave Sweeney on the way down this year as we did 2 years ago for this meet.
We may meet him on the way back though.
Hopefully.
There's Morgan Tracy in the red bib, the photographer, who you see, well, he's down here at the grassroots level on domestic soil, but he will be bringing you the pictures. He was bringing you the pictures from the European Championships in Rome, courtesy of Info, that we're decorating the front pages along with Sam Barnes of Sportsfile. He'll very much be doing the same at the Paris Olympics, but we're heading into round 2. That was a foul, just to confirm as well, by Michelle Dubke of Germany in the opening round, so a foul for her and Brooke Anderson. Everyone else is on the board as we head into round 2, and it is Jenny Kasanovoid. What can she produce? This again is a very high throw, but it's a bigger one, and it's out beyond 70 metres. For the first time in this competition, we have a throw well over 70 metres.
You can see the official is even applauding there. He's saying, I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Throws this big on Cork soil, so it's good to see. Obviously, a fan of the sport, as anybody is here, officiating and volunteering at these meets. We are the lifeblood of the sport, so he's enjoying his competition as well. While he's working hard and they get that measurement in. Just trying to see, Cathal, if there is a board on the infield for us to get updates on those live results as well. As I said, for yourselves at home, results.munsterathletics.com, Munster, M-U-N-S-T-E-R, athletics.com. Keep an eye on all that field event action, especially when we end up with 2, 3, 4 events happening simultaneously here.
Brooke Anderson is into the throwing circle. The world leader, the number 3 all-time female hammer thrower, fouled the first throw. What can she produce? Very quick as she spins around that circle. This looks a valid throw. It comes out low. It's not going to be her best work, but she's on the board and she's going to be going up probably into about 3rd place, I would suspect, with that throw. Looks to be around the 67 metre range for Brooke Anderson, and crucially, having endured a nightmare at the US trials where she failed to register a mark in the first 3 throws, she is on the board here in Cork. She's guaranteed herself, I'm sure, another 3 throws where she can really let rip.
Yeah, 70-53 is take in the lead there for Kasanovoid in round 2.
Yeah, Brooke Anderson, the 2022 world champion, Northern Arizona University graduate.
65-73 is her mark there, so she slots right into 3rd place.
This is Jill Shippey.
Shippey goes well wide of the sector there, heading out towards our newly laid track.
Heading out towards those 3,000 metre runners, and they're not built to take a hammer throw, Ger.
I think a lot of them are the same weight as that hammer, so they'll be suffering in the wind as well here this evening. And as I said, that open 3,000 is getting ready on the track. 10 minutes or so before they kick off, getting their last bits of strides done, and the high jumpers are making their way over towards the main stand to get their introductions to the crowd here before that action kicks off very, very shortly.
This is Katie Head of Great Britain, 61-71 in the first round. That goes out to a very similar range, around the 60 metre line it comes down. It's not going to be an improvement for Katie Head. She will stay in 7th place. Great that these hammer throwers, so often they are cast out of the main arena, but it's great that they take centre stage here, and also that they're on before a lot of the other track events get going, so we can truly appreciate.
Absolutely. Look at this for innovation here, Cathal. We've got split screen action going as the high jumpers get their introductions. We just see Federa Faketa get introduced, and there's Aoife O'Sullivan getting her introduction in the red and black. Erin Shaw will be up next, the Australian athlete. She's competed at the World Championships last year, of course, Australia at their finest. But Charlotte Payne is back up in the sector of the hammer throw, number 5 on her back on her GB vest. 64.91 in round 1, so this is her 2nd round effort. Ava Rochford on the bottom right getting her dues, and Charlotte Payne launches that hammer. That's going to be an improvement for sure, out towards 66-67 metres. At 64.91 in round 1, she will move herself up in the ranks. It's a foul for Jill Shippey and 60-22 for Katie Head, so no improvement for those two. And the high jumpers make their way back down. Just a quick run through that field again. We've got Tavernini, Kennelly, Fakete, O'Sullivan, Shaw, Haraldsdottir, Stanchev, Stefanovic, Rochford and Leckie.
Yeah, Summer Leckie in that brown tan coloured tracksuit top. She was of course the world under 20 silver medalist, and a lady who was high placed in the top 10 at the World Under-20 Championships, is in the throwing circle right now. 2 years ago it was that Nicola Tuttle made a fantastic comeback from a dislocated shoulder and a broken elbow over in Colombia, and she lets rip here on her second throw. It is a big one, it is a bigger one, and that looks to be very close to 70 metres. It's just short of it, I think, looking at where that official is measuring, but that looks to be a 69 metre effort from Nicola Tuttle, and that will do her the world of good in terms of confidence, and it's early in the competition as well. So what has Nicola Tuttle produced there? Because it looks like a big one. The lead currently is being held by Jill Shippey of the United States, 68.18, or sorry, Janika Sanavoid of 70.53. I think Tuttle may just have rocketed up to second place.
She never seems to have a bad day either, Cathal. Every day she's out, it's in the high 60s. Of course, made that final in Rome at the European Championships. But a fantastic throw once again there for Nicola Tuttle. We just wait to see what the scoreboards tell us as Rachel Akers takes her next round throw. Looks to be down below the 50 metre mark again for Akers in her second round, so she will have another couple of throws in to work back up towards that 59 metre PB.
Yeah, Nicola Tuttle, I'm sure many will be familiar with her story now, but did a lot of different sports in her youth, and in her junior cert year she settled on the hammer throw, and her father, to save time on commuting across town in Bandon, decided to build her a hammer cage and throwing circle in their backyard about 10 minutes outside Bandon, and that's where she trained for much of her school years, and that's where she continues to train when she's back home at weekends from UCD, where she's currently based.
Yeah, we're getting a split screen here of Samatia Scarvellis and Eva Rochford on warm-up in the high jump. The ladies in that one still fully kitted, so competition not quite kicking off just yet. They will be starting at 165 when that competition does get underway. It was 67.79 for Nicola Tuttle in that hammer.
Up to third place.
And we got a quick run through the start list of the men's 3,000 metres, the open race. We will have an international race later as well, Cathal, if you want to take us through.
Yeah, Charlie Gaffney of Leavale, Miles Hewlett of Kilkenny City Harriers, Dennis Coughlin of St Finbarrs, Tony Forrestal of East Cork, Dara Mulcahy of St Finbarrs, Cian Hodgins of Nina Olympic, Dara Sullivan of Rathfarnham, Declan Guinea of West Limerick AC. But there's more, lots more.
There's many more.
There are so many more, Ger.
Page 2 of the men's 3,000 metre open race. Daniel Buckley of Leavale, Barry Conway of Ennis Track, James Hayes, Cork Track Club, Niall Harvey, St Albans, Owen Downing, Ballymore Cove, Cian Kelly, St Albans, Irla McElroy of Ennis Track, and Oisin Murray of Unreal. We're just getting the national anthem played in the background here as well by our band on the infield, so we might just keep whished for a couple of seconds here.
Beautifully done. The soldier song Aaron Naveen plays around MTU track, freshly laid as we move into the future. This is the second half, the second latter part of the men's 3,000 metre open field. Owen O'Connor of Belgooley, Shane Langley of Skibbereen, Peter Hanrahan of Cork Track Club, Padraig Webb of Tinryland, John Spellman of East Cork, Luke Kelly of Candor Track Club, Stephen Lunn of Lagan Valley, and Ben Lean Smith of Leavale, the local track. But wait, is there more? You know it.
Got more. Damien Madigan, North Cork AC, Gavin Kenny of Bandon, Trevor Cummins, Great Island Athletics, Aaron Lynch of West Limerick, William Fox of KCH, Dara O'Leary of Killarney Valley, Cian O'Boyle of Ennis Track, James Tanner of Nina Olympic, and I'm reliably informed we've got two more athletes on the next page, Colin, as well, so not done just yet. Nick O'Donoghue, East Cork AC, and Andrew Hobbs of Leeville, as you said, the local club here in Cork, Leeville AC, as there are many. Cork Track Club, of course, recently formed as well. It is the most populated county of clubs of athletics in Ireland, so it is the local sport, as of course many others, but certainly popular down this part of the world.
And it's great to have a track again. Big hole in facilities for several months in Cork athletics, with such a great sporting and athletics county with their history. Nothing short of a farce, year. There was no 400 metre track for them to use for so long, but thankfully the hard work has been done behind the scenes. I don't know if the weather gods really smiled on Munster Technological University, but either way they got the job done. They got it fixed, they got it lined, freshly laid, and a new future ahead for Cork athletics.
Absolutely, I think it's a 16 million euro investment in sport in MTU here in the last while. This new track is part of it. And it certainly looks brilliant and spick and span for this year. And we just see a throw there from Casanovoid, yeah, just out towards the 70 metre mark again. Won't improve on her second round effort of 70.53, so she sits in the lead, but she kicks off that third round of throws. Just going to update my live results here. I don't have results for those last couple of throws in round 2, but we are onto the track for this open 3,000 metres call.
Yeah, we'll see what these men can produce. Just thinking back to 2 years ago, I remember a lot of these athletes were also going to the line there, the likes of Cian Kelly. Tends to be around 8:25, 8:30 race historically. These are of course the lower tiers athletes. None of these men will be professional. They'll be professional in something, but not professional runners, Jared.
They're professionals.
It's great to see them being part of the lineup here, and they have their day in the sun or in the very, very, very grey skies.
An all-Irish affair. You see a splattering of club vests throughout, and as you said, it's a great opportunity for athletes to participate.
And it was
a high-level meet.
It was a foul in the third round from Brooke Anderson. Just looking at where her hammer landed, it was a few meters outside the sector, so not a valid throw there from Brooke Anderson.
Aoife O'Sullivan just behind the upright, fully obscured there, getting ready for her high jump. First effort 160, and she goes clear.
Easy peasy.
Absolutely.
Back at the hammer, Jill Shippey unleashes about a 65 metre throw. She threw 68 in the first round, 68.18. She sits second place right now behind Casanovoid.
There's Ava Rochford, 160, a little bit too casual, knocks it on her first attempt. Still has the leggings on, she'll be back in for effort number 2. So if she wants to finish in the podium places today, that might be a little bit of well, it is exactly a mark on her card, but a mark that may fall against her as the bar ramps up in that competition.
Kind of mad to look at that bar and look at the official behind and then think that Yaroslava Mahuchik in Paris on Sunday jumped literally half a metre, 50 centimetres higher than that, and jumped over that. Insane from the Ukrainian.
Absolutely, I know she got her medal from the previous world record holder in Rome, and she told her, I think you can do it this year, but she said go for 2:07 in Paris, and then after that, when the pressure's off, go and jump 2:10 somewhere. But she misunderstood the message call, did it before, so she will be the overwhelming favourite, and Rochford goes in for her second effort, and no good again, unfortunately. She's a 180 jumper at her best and has done that many, many times, the young lady. So she needs to fully concentrate on this last round effort. She's just moving her mark, as you can see on the screen. As that men's open 3,000 metres has kicked off, it is underway. A huge field, as we said, 34 athletes in this one, all Irish men of clubs from all around Ireland. And we'll try and do our best to keep you up to date with the high jump and hammer as this race winds up as well.
Yeah, lots going on, track, field, lots of action as we see the men go through the first 200 metres. It's a pretty sedate pace right now. 200 metres covered in 34 seconds, so 68 seconds a lap equals 250 per kilometre equals 8:30. I was right, Ger. I'm always right, at least once a year. But yeah, this is about the level a lot of these men will be looking towards, that kind of 8:30 range. And we see Cian Kelly there of St Albans, that powerhouse Midlands club, starts to push things on here as he just feels the pace lag. And great to have that golf buggy driving around the bend beside him as we see Nicola Tuttle into the hammer circle for her next effort in the third round. So far 67.79 her best. What can the 20-year-old hammer star produce here? This looks a big one, not quite as big though. Just comes down around the 67 metre mark from Tuttle. But it's been a very strong opening half to the competition for her. She currently sits third behind Jill Shippey and Jenny Casanavoid.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a wobble at the end. Checked was her foot inside the sector, so maybe not the cleanest technically for her, but as you said, it's back out towards the high 60s as well to put a solid round together for the UCD athlete. The men's come past the finish line once again here with Cian Kelly leading it out front there, and Rachel Akers back into the hammer sector on the top left. Kelly, tall man from St Albans, leading the way.
Yeah, it's Barry Conway of NS Track just slotted in him behind there. That looks like an unreact singlet in behind. That probably is Oisin Murray, but we'll get a better look at that as they come close. Indeed, it is Oisin Murray of unreact. Occasionally I know my clubs. But Cian Kelly, as it was here before at the Cork City Sports, currently leading it out. We'll keep an eye on the hammer, a close eye on the hammer, because that is where the true world-class operators on the track or field are currently operating, and that will be where our priorities lie for the time being, as we see the Greek thrower Stamachia Skarvelis entering the circle. 63.39 she opened with. Haven't quite updated in the live results system what she got in her second round. But Cian Kelly leads it out. This is through the first kilometre in 2:59, 3 minutes. So it's a good solid pace. Nothing too extravagant from these men. I suspect some of them will be able to pick it up from here. As we see the Kilkenny City Harrier there. That is Miles Hewitt now who has taken the lead. Miles Hewitt to the front. Starts to push things along just a little.
Miles Hewitt leading the charge here now, taking over from Cian Kelly. As you see the clock there, not quite at halfway yet in this men's open 3,000 metres, and back on that hammer, back out towards 65 metres. We just have the next athlete is winding up there, Margaret Hayden, in the sector. And she launches it just shy of the 60 metre mark. Her first round effort 57.53, so it should be an improvement on that. Back out towards that 60.63 at her best. And into the high jump. That is our confirm bar is still up. It's up to 165 now, and that's Stanisha Stefanovic. Sorry, it's Fedra Fikete, so competed in Rome in the high jump for Hungary. She had her best set this year, second at the Hungarian Championships. And Aoife O'Sullivan goes clear as well at 165.
Yeah, and back on track. And it is Miles Hewitt of the Kilkenny City Harriers who is churning this pace along as they come through the mile in about 4:45. Nothing too extreme at the moment. NS Trackman Keane Boyle then is tracking him, or Barry Conway as well is in there. A couple of NS Trackmen in here. Then also up on the outside, that is Darragh Mulcahy of St Finbarr's AC, just running a little wide there in that white vest, and Cian Kelly sitting in third.
Michelle Dopke there just launching the hammer out towards 63-64 metres again. And in the high jump it is Una Shaw of Australia, Erin Shaw rather, 190 metre jumper at her best, and she goes comfortably clear of 165 for her first round effort.
Yeah, Shaw was a 4th place finisher at the 2022 World Under 20 Championship. She's only 19 years old, the New South Wales jumper. So certainly a name to watch in the high jump. 190 she's been over this year, her season's best, the Aussie teenager.
Of course, Australian high jumping is at an all-time high, pardon the pun, with Olympic medals.
Don't apologise, Ger.
Yeah, world indoor gold on the ranks in the last couple of years.
Birta Maria Haraldsdottir gets the white flag and goes up and over 165. Seems the Icelandics are not just good at football, Ger.
Absolutely, all-rounders.
But it's as you were in the men's 3,000 metres, and it is still Miles Hewitt of Kilkenny City Harriers leading it out from Onriach's Oisin Murray, and then Cian Kelly of St. Albans up on the outside. And now there are only 2 laps to go and it will start to crank up.
Stanchev Stefanovic there on our high jump runway for her opening effort at 165. And Nurka Singlet of Spain. And she goes comfortably clear, well over 165, gets the white flag to official. The competition has started.
Yeah, and up front there are 4 starting to separate themselves here, and they are in that green vest. Oisin Murray out front ahead of Cian Kelly of St. Albans, and then there's Miles Hewitt and Dara Mulcahy sitting in behind, and the pace is starting to crank up. The first kilometre was about 3 minutes. They're moving faster now, so they're probably going to be around 8:50 here, but I think these men have personal bests. They definitely have personal bests. It's considerably quicker than that, so I would expect a little bit of a burn up, and it may well come down to Oisin Murray of Onriach against Cian Kelly of St. Albans as they come through with a lap to go. They are now starting to pull clear ahead of the Finbars man Dennis Coughlin, or sorry, Dara Mulcahy, that is, back in 3rd. So, and then there were 2 up front, and it is Oisin Murray of Onriach against Cian Kelly of St. Albans, and the pace is really moving now as they rocket down the back straight. 2:50 to run, and it looks like Murray still has command right now, but Kelly looks to be poised to strike here with 200 to go. What do these 2 men have left? Murray looks to be very comfortable there out front and just extends as he heads into that bend now. He's pulling out about 4, 5, 6 metres. He's drawing away as the Onriach man. Oisin Murray pulling away from Cian Kelly. There's a long way back to Dara Mulcahy back in 3rd. He's scrapping it out with Miles Hewitt. But up front, it is the Kerry man, Onriach, powering down the home straight here. Oisin Murray is going to take victory in your open men's 3,000 metres, sponsored by the Cork City Council, and it is 8:30.60. It was a fantastic closing kilometre there, really flying these men. Cian Kelly takes 2nd, it is Miles Hewitt in 3rd, and then it is the St. Finbars man, Dara Mulcahy. And then it was number 3 there, Daniel Buckley of Leva, looks to have come through in 5th place. All these men well under 9 minutes here. 8:55 on the clock as they're coming across. So those are all your sub 9 minute men in the Cork City Council Open Men's 3,000 metres. A brilliant way to start the track action on a big night here at the Munster Technological University.
Absolutely. Call it a track record, Colin. Not a stadium record, of course, but a track record. It's a new track.
Yeah. Look, we'll try to promote this whatever way we can, Ger. We are the hype train.
Got to give them something.
You see these men, they have emptied themselves here over 7.5 tough laps. 9:30 or so on the clock as they're starting to come up now. The last few finishers. And just looking back to see what's happening in the field, because the marks have finally updated through the first 3 rounds of the women's hammer. I can tell you Jenny Kasanovoid is still out front with that 70-53 metre throw. 2nd at the moment at the halfway stage is Jill Shippey of the United States, and 3rd Nicola Tuttle of Ireland. 67-79 for the Irish woman.
You see the pole vaulters getting their competition underway. That is not Rachel Akers on your screen, that is the hammer throw caption, but that's the Leavell vest of the local club here in Cork. And that hammer throw taking place on the top end as the open men's 3,000 metres athletes that we just seen cross the line. No rest for the wicked. The race is just rounding up on the track. The last athletes getting their applause as the lads wait to get their presentations here in Cork.
Up front, 70 metres, 53 centimetres is Jenny Casanova of the United States.
Pole vault getting underway here. The SD athlete on the runway first.
And in third place,
that is Una Samuels, PD of 3:35. And she goes clear 270. You can see in the background there, that's a useful infographic there. Her first effort opens her competition cleanly. And there we have that started. So we just seen Samuels go clear that her opening effort. We've got Noelle Mulcahy of Leavell, Maeve Corkery of Middleton AC, Una Bryce of Leavell, Chloe Lynch of Gowran AC, Anna O'Shea, Killarney, Poppy Devereux of Youghal, Olive Berger, Leavell, and Avian MacDonald of St Albans AC. So leading contenders in that one are Una Bryce with 380 PB. Samuels that we just saw is one of the next best for 3:35, as is Maeve Corkery, and Olive Berger 3:20. So for the many young Irish athletes looking for PBs and season's best in that one.
As we see Miles Hewitt there taking his bronze medal for third place in that Cork City Council Open Men's 3,000 metres, our silver medalist. He was here 2 years ago contending for the win then as well. As we see Fedra Fekete of Hungary lining up to the bar at 165. No joy for her. Oh no, she's still lining up. Just looking at the red flag from the pole vault there. And then the winner from Anriach to that men's 3,000 metres is Oisin Murray.
And it's clearance there at 170 for Fekete of Hungary. And that was Noelle Mulcahy who had that failure in the pole vault column while you were watching the high jump, and it cut quickly. And then we have Nicola Tuttle, the big reveal there on the bottom right. Who was it going to be? What was it going to be? Opened up, Nicola Tuttle, UCD, the local Cork athlete, Bandon AC previously. Winds it up, and launches. Let us see where this one comes down. We're just obscured slightly by the podium, but it is going to be shy of 70 metres again. Out towards it, but maybe in around the 67 metre mark again. Cahill.
Yeah, and just to catch up, Brooke Anderson just shortly before through 69.53, so she has moved up to second. It is the two Americans, the two world-class throwers we expected to dominate, who are currently dominating just past the halfway point.
So that was Maeve Corkery of Middleton going over that clearance in the pole vault. Well clear, as you can see. 3:35 at her best.
Certainly, sports fans can get a great deal from the activities that are put on here today, and I hope it goes very well. Thank you very much, and we wish you.
And that's Summer Leckie just with a failure in the high jump at 170, her first attempt, the opening jump of the competition. Said world under-20 silver medalist in the past, and 190 at her best. That's Jill Shippey there, just walking out of the hammer sector.
Yeah, and the woman who's walking in as one of the world's best, Janie Casanavoid, is going to be next up. And the fluorescent pink of that Nike sponsored kit. Usually you can tell the best athletes by who's got the professional kit from Nike, and she very much does. She is one of the world's best, is Janie Casanavoid. Bronze medalist in the World Championships 2 years ago, silver medalist last year, sixth, a heartbreaking sixth place at the US Olympic trials this year. Fell short of the Olympic team, but she's here in Cork. Their losses are gain. We get to see one of the world's best as she launches here her fourth round effort out towards 70 metres. Comes down around 68, but she's in command out front with that second round effort of 70.53.
That previous effort from Tuttle was 67.04, so that's her second best at the competition, but she still lies in fourth place so far. Just see the high jumper, that is Erin Shaw, think out again, getting ready. And we've flipped across the pole vault. That will be Leavell's Olive Berger, fluorescent yellow spikes. 270 I think the bar is still at here, and she goes clear for her first round effort. Gets the white flag from the official. Her competition cleanly underway.
Yeah, Katie Head of Britain was the last one there into the circle, but that's just effort just beyond 60 metres.
Before we start, Lisa O'Brien has
here. He's the current president of Leavell, former chair of the Cork City.
Next up on track, it will be the Riverlee Hotel Junior Men's 1500 metres, but we're still a few minutes away from that. We'll be bringing that into a bit of split screen action once it gets going, but given the calibre of competition in this women's hammer, we'll keep an eye on this, because you never know when an absolutely massive throw is going to come out of that cage, whether it be an Irish under 23, who knows, maybe an Irish senior record, or indeed throw upwards of 80 metres from these women, these two stunning throwers from the US of A. This, however, though, is Michelle Dubke of Germany. 63.40 was her best. That comes down in a very similar range. She's 2 fouls and 2 63-metre throws. As we look back towards the men's 1500 metres, the junior men's 1500 metres. And it looks like Noah Conan of West Musgrave there is up front, but it's slowing down a little. And it is numbers 9 and 17. That's Tommy Arthur of Lagan Valley AC and Oren O'Sullivan of Middleton, who are assuming command of this race and the pace as it stands.
It's still well spread across the track though, as it is. There's a little bit pedestrian at the minute. That was Aoife O'Sullivan. In the high jump we see just knocking 170. Ava Rochford you saw on screen earlier, knocking that as well in her first attempt. So second attempts for those ladies, and as is for Summer Leckie, who will be up next on the runway. So you can see those latest results just on the screen for the hammer, and we'll have a look at the full list of this 1500 metres as it starts to wind up here. Carl, they're stretching out a little bit. Summer Leckie with another failure there at 170 on the bottom right of the screen. That start list is on the right hand side for you of this race, but they come into the home straight here, Carl, and it's starting to pick up a little bit and get a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, 900 metres to run, and they're just keeping along there at a steady enough pace.
Coming around the bend there as they get past the high jumpers once again, and we are winding up with 600 to go in that junior men's 1500 metres. In the hammer there again we have Charlotte Payne of Great Britain taking her 5th round effort. And in the 1500 metres we have number 14 there, Roman Borkowski-Horgan of North Cork AC. In that yellow vest is leading it out front, leading the charge. The big man is blocking the wind for these other athletes, and they're still lining up behind them. There's nobody out of it just yet. Ava Rochford there again, another failure. That is her second at 170, so she'll have one more attempt, and just a change in leader here, Carl, as they come into the home straight here for the final penultimate time.
That's Oren O'Sullivan of Middleton AC, who has just swept to the front now, and back in third though, perhaps the danger man now, David Williams of St. Senans. He looks very comfortable as things stand. He has moved quietly through this field. So David Williams of St. Senans and Oren O'Sullivan of Middleton up the front at the moment, but O'Sullivan has command at the moment, but doesn't he look comfortable in second? David Williams of St. Senans with about a 2 metre advantage to close down at the moment. These two men look to perhaps have command. Can Oren O'Sullivan hang on? He looks to be really going for broke here with 200 to go. There is a strong wind in his face up that back straight, but he has these men firmly on the stretch as Oren O'Sullivan of Middleton. As he comes around this last bend, does David Williams of St. Senans have anything left to offer? He looks perhaps the more comfortable of the two, but he needs to find something major. He needs to unlock a new gear in the home straight, and I think he's done it. I think he has done it. O'Sullivan tries to dig in and kick again, but he doesn't have enough to repel the formidable challenge of David Williams of St. Senans. 4:08 on the clock, takes victory ahead of Oren O'Sullivan. And then back in third, it was Garrod Long of St. Senans. He'll be just outside 4:10, I suspect. But a great burn up there in the under 20 men's 1500 metres, sponsored by Riverlee Hotel. David Williams, King David, reigns supreme.
Summer Leckie, called for the cross in her third attempt at 170, so her competition is over before it's begun. And no height there for the Donegal athlete, unfortunately. And on the pole vault runway.
Brooke Anderson of the United States, 73.10. So the new meet record.
Over runway, we just seen a clearance from Poppy Devereaux of Youghal AC. And she just places her pole back on the bench.
Competition on the bars at 170. The athletes are on the third attempt. Ava Rochford, the Olympic, is next to go.
There's Ava Rochford on the bottom right, about to take her third attempt at 170.
Yeah, so Stamatia Skarvelis is into the circle in the women's hammer, and we have had a big development just as that 1500 metres was playing out. Brooke Anderson of USA has thrown 73 metres 10, and she has powered way out in front ahead of Jenny Casanavoid. So it's the two Americans we expected to dominate who are up the front, 73 metres and 70 metres. They have come and they have delivered in Cork, as we see about a 64-65 metre effort from Skarvelis of Greece.
We just see the results of that 3,000 metres being shown on screen. And pole vault, we're back with Berger of Leevale here. Failure there, first attempt at 280. We saw Ava Rochford unfortunately go out of the women's high jump at 170 there as well. Her second height of the competition. And the bar gone up to 175 now.
So things are starting to get serious in the women's high jump. But things are always been serious from the outset in the women's hammer. And here is Nicola Tuttle into the circle again as the Olympic style music plays over the tannoy here. Nicola Tuttle is currently down in, I think it's 4th position now. She will be the band and throw. No, she's down to 5th. Yeah, so can Nicola Tuttle produce something here? Can she get into those top 3 places? She will need a 68 metre effort to do it. She's more than capable as a 20-year-old Bandon star, and that is huge. That is huge from Nicola Tuttle. That is right up close to that 70 metre line. That is definitely over 69. It's going to be a best on the night for Nicola Tuttle. It's going to be very close to her personal best. It's not quite that Irish under-23 record, which is 70.32, but that is a big one that Nicola Tuttle has just unleashed here. As I mentioned, Jill Shippey in 3rd right now on 68.18. I'm almost sure she's going to take that. 2nd place is Jenny Casanavoid with 70.53, but Tuttle has currently got into the podium positions on home turf as we look at Asia Tavernini of Italy.
Yeah, barred 175. And the hammer throw, we have Jill Shippey there taking her throw into the net. And the hammer still in the net, perhaps hasn't come down quite yet.
Yeah, this
Gravity
is the 5th round of the women's hammer.
And Tavernini goes clear her first effort in this women's high jump, 175. As we just see Olive Berger once again, 2nd failure for her, 3rd failure in fact on the screen, so if that is correct, it's the end of her competition. We did see Anna O'Shea prior to that go clear.
And the hammer is very much stuck in the net.
There's a bit of net shaking being done. The lads are doing it without a hard hat. I wouldn't advise that.
No, health and safety regulations. The inspector will be having a mare here tonight.
So you can just at the top of that red padding is where you could see the
this is
stuck.
Fedra Fekete of Hungary at 175, her 3rd and final attempt, and it is a successful one for Fekete. 188 her best, and she's up and over 175. I was at the World Under-20 Championships in Bydgoszcz back in 2016 when one of the men let loose a hammer and it went straight through the cage and smashed an official in the leg.
Oh.
Ambulance driven onto the track, grisly scenes, children screaming, not great.
How did you react?
I took a somber look at things and myself. The junior women's 800 metres are going to be next up on track as we follow some of the pole vault and high jump.
Yeah, that's Anna O'Shea again of Killarney AC. That is her 3rd round effort, unfortunately end of her competition.
And Birta Maria Haraldsdottir in the high jump goes up and over 175. 187 is her best, so the Icelandic flying high. And we're still, hammer fans, we're still trying to get that hammer down.
Got a full screen of the junior women's 800 we saw to start this there a few seconds ago, and that is the Spaniard Stanchev Stefanovic on the high jump runway. Her first attempt at 175 in the blue of Nerja, and she goes comfortably clear. the second height of the competition. Junior women's 800 are called to their marks. Cleva Flannery, Siobhan Breen, Faye Mannion, Lucy O'Flynn, Sarah Neville, Emily Cronin, Chloe Ann O'Callaghan, Ciara Delaney and Fern Milan, Holly O'Boyle, Gemma O'Mahony, Rebecca O'Neill, Gemma Galvin, Saoirse Toomey and Freya Bateman.
Yeah, this is a big field, this women's 800 metres, and they're going out fast. Look at that, the West Muskerry Armada are very much out in force as we go down the back straight there. Looks like perhaps Freya Bateman of Belgooly gone to the front there from the outside, and Bateman, well, she's currently given this field a beating as they go through 200 metres with about a 3 metre advantage, really pushing things along. And then I think it's number 15, is it? No. We'll get a better look at these athletes as they come around in front of us. But this is a relentless pace that is being laid down here, and Hammer fans, I'll have you know, they're now dismantling that net to try and get that hammer down from where it's currently lodged. So a little delay in proceedings in the hammer, but we'll focus on the action up front here. It is Freya Bateman leading it out here, and then it is number 9, that's Gemma Galvin of Ennis Track, the first of them, 9, 8 and 13. So Bateman keeps it going hard here from the gun, but she has company, unwanted company, and it is the form of the Ennis Track trio. That is Faye Mannion, that is Holly O'Boyle in beside her as well, and then it is Gemma Galvin of Ennis Track. So these are the 3 Ennis Track athletes who are currently putting it up to Freya Bateman, who has led from Flagfall, goes through 600 metres here in about 1:38, so a good time on the cards here. But can Freya Bateman hold on with this relentless pace, because it has been hard from the gun. She's going out hard and hanging on, but can she hang on for another 100 metres? She looks to slightly be out on her feet, but she's the best athlete in this race, on paper at least. Freya Bateman turns for home. She is struggling. She's going to try and win it the hard way. But here come the 2 Ennis Track athletes down the outside. It looks like Faye Mannion, I think. It is indeed. Faye Mannion takes victory there with a brilliantly timed effort, just ahead of Gemma Galvin, her track mate from Ennis Track. And then it was Freya Bateman of Belgooly, ran so brave, so tough, and just ultimately ran out of road, ran out of gas in that last 60 metres or so. But a fantastic effort from the Belgooly athlete. But Faye Mannion down the outside, the tallest athlete in the field, and she used those long legs to good effect in that last 100 metres. 2:11 is your winning time in the Cork Athletics under 20 women's 800 metres. And amid the fatigue, there is much elation there from Faye Mannion. Raises her arms to the skies before dropping to the ground to catch her breath. Well done, Faye Mannion. Judged that effort to perfection.
Absolutely. We see on the screen, top left, Tavernini of Italy. Carl, I must correct myself. Erin Shaw is eliminated in that high jump rather than Summer Leckie. Summer Leckie just went clear during that race. We saw it on the screen at 175, her opening effort, so she's still in the competition. And the event favourite, perhaps, Erin Shaw, is eliminated, the Australian, unfortunately. So her night has ended early. But Tavernini, the 190 jumper, second at the Italian Championships just last weekend. And she will attempt 180 first attempt, and it is no good. Slips with her calves, takes it off. She'll be back for 2 more efforts. You can see number 9, the pole vault, Hayley McDonald.
La Vita is not so dolce right now for Asia.
Not quite. More to come from her, I'm sure. And we are hammer free.
Oh,
it is hammer time once again.
We are indeed. And it's going to be time for the 6th round, I think, because it looks to me like Janice Casanovoid has the hammer, and in she heads. One of the world's best. We'll keep an eye on this in the bottom right of your shot there, because Janice Casanovoid, this is her last chance. I'm pretty certain, or is this still the 5th round we're in? I think it may be the 5th round, because her result in the 5th round has not to show up, so I think we're just finishing off the 5th round. But in 2nd place overall, Janice Casanovoid needs to throw 73 metres 10 to take the lead from Brooke Anderson. Can she do it? It is certainly a big one. It's beyond 70, but it is not enough. And again, the official, you can see him giving the round of applause. Great to see an official, a hard-working volunteer, appreciating a world-class thrower in front of your eyes in Cork, a world silver and bronze medalist. One of the world's best is Janice Casanovoid. She is a lovely woman too. I've interviewed her on occasion. She's from Missouri. Really is one of the heroes, not just the sporting community, but the Native American community. Her dad from the Comanche tribe. She has one heck of a story, and she is one heck of a thrower. She's in second place as it stands in that women's hammer.
Just saw Fiquet knock 180 in the women's high jump, and we've got Harold Dottir up next, as well as a failure there at 290 in the pole vault from Una Samuels, and a failure from the Icelandic high jumper also, so she'll be back for a second attempt at 1 metres 80. We were back to the women's hammer on the bottom right. See the measurement as underway goes the primary school girls mile, Cathal. It's going to be an interesting one on track for us, especially trying to figure out who's who.
I know that's your speciality, Jerry. You studied a form book of the primary school championships in depth, so I'll leave this one to you if that's all right.
Indeed. Distance is my specialty, as is the mile, as is primary school athletics. But back on the high jump runway, Stanchev Stefanovic of Spain. Her first attempt at 180, clean card so far for her. She gets the clap going from the crowd as those primary school girls hit the 200 metre mark in their mile race. Well spread out so far. And we'll try and get an eye on who is the leader as they come around into the home straight. And we've got a clearance from the Nurka athlete in the high jump, Stanchev Stefanovic. Goes well clear, clean card for her so far. And Summer Leckie will be up next.
Yeah, the junior girls or the primary school girls mile is ongoing at the moment. They're just coming up to 300 metres or so, and back in the hammer cage the officials are just reversing the circle.
Just give you a full run through of this primary girls mile field. We've got Ava Coleman, Ula Sokolovska, Darcy Quinlan, Chloe Byrne O'Riordan, Maya Raska, Leah Cairns, Summer O'Donovan, Leo O'Donovan, Ellen Barry, Sarah Drumgoole, Lucy Byrne, Olivia O'Donovan, Alison Brennan, Lucy Eaton and Caroline O'Sullivan. Got all their primary schools listed here as well. And out front, your eyesight might be better than mine, that looks like number 13 of Ula Sokolovska of Carrigtwohill National School.
And there's the big one. It's a big throw from Brooke Anderson. We just got back in time. The third longest hammer thrower in history on the women's side, and she has unleashed another big one there, over 70 metres. Brooke Anderson, she had command of this competition, and she solidified her position at the head of the standings, ahead of her fellow American Jenny Kasanovoid. Brooke Anderson, one of the world's best. Heartbreak this year not making that Tokyo Olympics after no marking in the US trials, but heroism here tonight in Cork with a throw way beyond 70 metres from Brooke Anderson. That looks to be around the 73 metre mark.
Tavernini back on the high jump runway, second attempt at 180, and she fails that one again, unfortunately, so one more attempt for her.
Yeah, it's Ula Sokolovska there of Carrigtwohill School out front on her own in the primary girls mile at the moment, and she is looking very relaxed as things stand.
And a big throw there once again for Charlotte Payne.
And just confirmation that was a 72 metre throw from Brooke Anderson, so she stays at the top, and now the mark to even get second is even tougher. 72.06 is her second best throw, and that is of course on its own good enough for the win in that women's hammer.
Clearance there in the pole vault for Poppy Devereaux.
And then back to the high jump, it is Fedra Fikete. Her second attempt at 180 in the all-black strip, the Hungarian. 188 is her best. Can she get over 180 here? No, just comes off at her lower back there. Upper torso. Has the height though. Certainly get that on her third and final attempt that will be to come. But it is Ula Sokolovska of Carrigtwohill National School who is dominant form, Ger, in this Karza primary school girls mile. 30 metre advantage as things stand with 600 metres to run.
She is streaking away here with this one. If she can hold this form, she's going to be an emphatic winner in this primary girls mile. A dominant performance so far, leading it from the front, taking it on into the home stretch. She'll get her round of applause, penultimate time, as she will come towards the bell, and Nicola Toto enters the circle for the final time. What can she do, Carl? She currently lies in third place.
Third, 69.90. So that, I think, I'm pretty sure that's the second longest throw of Nicola Tuttle's career. She's only been over 70 metres once, But Nicola Tuttle has unleashed a big one to make the crowd happy here. She's in third. Can she move up even more? The 20-year-old Bandenstar. Let's rip from the hammer circle. It's way beyond 60. It's close to 70, but it's not going to be an improvement. Nicola Tuttle will have to settle for third on this night, but it's third behind two astonishing athletes, two world-beating women in Brooke Anderson and Jenny Kasanovoy. They will have to mix it up now for first and second in this final round. Can Kasanovoy produce something huge in her 6th round effort? Anderson certainly has put two big marks out there, 72 and 73. Kasanovoy sits second on 70.16.
And Summer Leckie there just taking her second attempt at 180. This is her second height of the competition, who I rode off earlier inadvisedly. She's of course still active here. One more attempt at 180. As Erin Shaw, the Australian, went out early. Unfortunately, her competition is over. We still have 4 or 5 women still active in that high jump. The primary girls mile getting their bell as the winner streaks into the home straight here. Cahill, and an emphatic win it's going to be from Ula Sokolovska. As we just see her come into the straight on the screen, the white vest.
What a kick!
What a kick from Sokolovska here. She looks like she's only just begun 100 metres, never mind finishing a mile. 5:38.89 on the clock. Primary school's mile champion is Ula Sokolovska, Carrick-2 National School. We're just trying to get a look at who's in second place here.
Yeah, that is number 2 there, which is Leah O'Donovan of St. Catherine's Primary School. Number 6 is back in third, that's Ava Coleman. And then number 9 is next in. 4th place goes to Alison Brennan of St. Mary's Primary School, Cove. No doubt about the winner though, Ula Sokolovska. And you can overhype young athletes, but I think it's safe to say, Ger, there's the 2040 Olympic champion right there. We have witnessed it.
We've seen it. We have seen it. Build it and they will come. We have built a new track here for young, old, experienced and not so much alike, and what a fantastic opportunity for these primary girls to get a chance to tug out against some of the world's best. We just see Jenny Kasanovoy. She is just fixing her hammer there. Not sure what. I missed that.
Yeah,
as we watch the excitement of that final of that primary girls mile, and a failure there for Tavernini in the high jump as well. Her high jump competition will be over at 180, so it'll be count back, I think, to decide a lot of the places in that high jump competition. There were a lot of high entries, but not many jumps completed beyond 180 so far. And we can just see Phaedra Fikete of Hungary. She's taking her final attempt at 188, personal best, season's best. Got her to Rome, and she is on her 3rd attempt here at 180. Cork City Council high jump. On the pole vault runway there as well. That's a failure for number 9. That is Avian MacDonald, so that happens. And a brilliant clearance there for Phaedra Fikete in the all black for Hungary. She will go into 2nd place in that one. Behind the Spaniard Stančić Stefanovic. So 2 athletes clear at 180 so far. And we've got the Icelandic Berta Maria Haraldsdottir up next at 187 PB. So get up towards that. Boys 1 mile are getting ready on track. See can they match that fantastic performance from the girls. Likewise, in that previous race, great excitement and a blistering finish from Ula Sokolovska of Carrick-2 National School. I'm sure there'll be classmates, clubmates, family and the likes all in the stadium to cheer those girls on, and boys up next. You see the lineup on your screen. You see Haraldsdottir start her run up, and her final attempt is no good, unfortunately, so that will be the end of her competition. Summer Leckie up next to see will we be down to the final 2 in that women's high jump.
Yeah, next up on track, it's going to be the Carza primary. No, that's the girls' mile I'm looking at. Just make sure the sponsor is the same. It is. It's the Carza. They're sponsoring all the miles here tonight. Well, the primary school level anyway. It's the Carza primary school boys' mile coming up next. We have an Argentina jersey on the outside, Jer. I don't know what he's like running, but I bet he's got good footwork. Summerlecki, though, is on the high jump runway. Third and final attempt for the former World Under-20 silver medalist at 180. Needs this. Doesn't get it.
Yes, I think we are down to 2 in that women's high jump with Phaedra Fakate and Asia Tabernini. Sorry, with Una Stefanovic. Only 2 to go clear. And we'll clarify that just as the competition comes to a close. We'll move up, I think, to 180, possibly 183. We'll just see as the officials adjust. And the primary school boys just been told to put their toes behind the line. Many of them getting their first experience on the track here, looking at the starter as they wait for him to pull the trigger. And we have one man gone out in lane 8, and he is staying in lane 8. Nobody's going to tell him to get into lane 1. Now they have, and he slots in.
Follow your dreams, kids. Don't listen to what they say. Break the rules. Shake it up.
So you see Una Bryce just down there talking to the official in the pole vault.
And saying, would you not put it down a bit for us? It's getting a bit hard. But we've gone out at lightning pace in the primary school boys mile. And you can see the differences in maturation levels there between the age groups. Everyone matures at different levels. There must be about 1.5 foot difference in height between the 2 men out front, but they're running about the same pace through the first 250 of this primary school boys mile. And we'll get a better look at them as they come up past us, and we'll find out who exactly is leading. But confirmation of that women's hammer result, Brooke Anderson of USA took victory with 73.10 ahead of Jenny Kastanovoid, 70.53 for second, and it was the brilliant Nicola Tuttle, the rising star, back in third with 69.90. Brilliant stuff from her. So it is numbers 1 and number 9, Tommy Murphy of Beaumont Primary School out front, leading the way ahead of Owen Looney of Ruth Pekin National School. These two way out front right now, probably 30-40 metre advantage.
That was Poppy Devereaux just with a failure at 3 meters rather in the of Yall AC in the women's pole vault. 3:10 her best, so she'll be getting close to that now. And you see our 2 high jump athletes just keeping themselves warm as they prepare to attempt 183 up next. So it will be our Hungarian Phaedra Fakate taking the first effort at that one. Down to Una Bryce on the pole vault, 3 meters. As the boys' primary mile starts to ramp up again here, Cathal. They're well spread out. 2 minutes of running so far.
Yeah, I think Owen Looney has said enough is enough. Tommy Murphy, you may have gone fast early, but I will go fast late. But there's a long way to go. 800 metres. This is Owen Looney out front. He has left Tommy Murphy for dead as things stand. Coming up to halfway, about 2:30 on the clock as he reaches the finish line. And Looney, he is well clear, and I think Tommy Murphy is having buyer's remorse about that first 2 laps. He is in trouble, shall we say, through halfway, but that'll be a lesson learned. Number 17 is coming through for third at the moment.
Ben Lynch, that is, of Bunskull Rin on Corvley Cove, as we just saw a first time failure for Fakate in the high jump at 183.
Yeah, that's Patrick O'Reilly Murphy of Skull. Ursula Cork is in chase, in hot pursuit at the moment, but it is probably about 70 metres behind this man, Owen Looney of Rath Pekin National School. This man is going strongly as things stand, but back to the pole vault. That is a failure at 3 meters.
Poppy Devereaux on her second attempt there, failure at 3 meters, and back to the Spaniard in the high jump. That is Una Stefanovic, 183, first attempt. She is on the runway and she just knocks that one, so it's probably the best attempt we've seen so far, but it's a failure on her first attempt. So she will be back for round 2 very shortly on that one. See the crowd giving themselves a right old bit of applause for our winner, winner in waiting, we'll say, Carl. He's got 70, 80, 90 metres of a lead here in this one. Owen Looney of Rathpeacon National School. He is streaking away, and he looks full of running, as we've seen from our girls' winner. Let's see what he can do on the home straight when that crowd roars. Can he put in that sprint finish and celebrate in style?
Yeah, and it is just in behind there. It is Patrick O'Reilly Murphy in second, and then Conor Tuhig of Rathpeacon National School and Fionn O'Leary. They're going to be carving it up for the silver and bronze medals. Not much between those three, but this man has put on an exhibition of miling for the boys' primary school category. The Carsa boys, look at him. He's only picking up the pace as he comes around the bend. He is about 150 metres clear of his rivals. He is coming up to lap athletes. It is a brilliant performance by this young star, Owen Looney, into the home straight, all alone. He's going to be very near 5 minutes, which for a man of his age is outstanding running. He's going to be just outside it. But a name for the future, maybe a name for the present, Owen Looney of Rathpeacon National School. 5:02 on the clock as he hits the line flat. And he doesn't look too bothered about it all. He looks around, turns around and says, "Where is everyone else?" And they're not even into the home straight yet, but now they just about are.
He confirms himself as a distance runner, stopping the clock as he crosses the line. Even at this young age, he knows how the pros do it.
Conor Tuhig, this is, of Rathpeacon National School, coming up for second, his schoolmate. And then it is number 3, which is Fionn O'Leary of Beaumont Primary School, in third. And then number 17, Patrick O'Reilly Murphy of Scull Ursula, Cork. He takes fourth after a big third lap from the youngster.
Fantastic running, as we know. Primary boys miling, Carl. That's really an exhibition there from the young man from Rathpeacon.
Have we just seen the next Josh Kerr?
I think we
perhaps
have. Confirmed.
There's a bit of showboating going on here. Do you know what happened, Jer? I just saw one of the primary school boys out kick another guy and then laugh at him, make a hand remark laughing at him, and then the youngster, who's about half his size, called him something that no primary school boy should ever be saying. But anyway,
fair enough.
They're having their fun. They're going to war out there. No love lost on that track.
We'll just see a second attempt failure from Stancha Stefanovic in the women's high jump. So final attempt coming up for her. As for Phaedra Fiquet in that one, those two left, top two. And on the pole vault runway, we have got Lee Vale's Noel Mulcahy. Might be Olive Berger. I'll just confirm when we see the number on her back. The bar is at 3 metres still, and it is a failure there. It's up to 3:10 in fact. That is Noel Mulcahy of Leeville, and a big sprint finish on the track here just off screen for two of the boys, and it's fantastic. We see them coming down that home straight. It's all racing, Cathal. At the front, at the back, in the middle. It doesn't matter where. Racing is racing. That's what it's all about. The clock is irrelevant.
The crowd love that one. I've never seen a 7:45 mile so hotly contested as the finishing straight there, but pride is worth a lot at any age, and neither of those two men wanted to bring up the rear there. But back to the high jump. Phaedra Fiquet, her third and final attempt at 183. The Hungarian will need this to stay in this competition. 188 is her best, Fiquet is. Can she produce the magic at MTU?
Oh yes, she goes clear, and a brilliant clearance there for her. She gives it hands on her face, and she is happy out with that one. It just really calmed down as that jump was about to take off, and I had a good feeling about it. It's been blustery the whole way through. See the trees are blowing behind those high jumpers, but just as she began that run up, it calmed significantly. It certainly did her a lot of good, and we'll get a look at the replay of that one. That puts her right into the lead here with her Spanish competitor. One attempt to come back at her. Could be all over on this next attempt. She is happy with that one.
Absolutely.
We have Niamh Corkery there in the pole vault. That is Una Samuels rather, the pole vault. There's a slight change in the bib numbers for our women's pole vaulters. That is Niamh Corkery there, in fact, getting ready for her attempt at 3 meters 10. See that PB 335. So in blustery conditions here, she'll be hoping to get over this one cleanly, take her competition from there. and she goes well clear of that one. It could be a big day for Maeve Corkery with a clearance like that. 310 and 335 PB could be in for a serious bit of rewriting. And here we have it. Is this the last attempt for Una Stancic-Stefanovic of Spain? She's on the runway and she is up and she is not clear. So it's going to be second place for the Spaniard in this one, unfortunately. Third attempt at 183, no good. So our champion is going to be Fedra Fiketa of Hungary at 183, enough for her to take the title here in the Women's Cork County Council high jump. Hopefully she'll go on, give us more action to see. Might try and challenge that 188 PB that she set this year. Just that replay of Maeve Corkery in the pole vault, her first time clearance at 310, quite comfortable. And our high jumper is just conferring, still sitting around to watch and review their competitors. And Noelle Mulcahy here on the replay on the runway. She, her attempt at 310, first attempt failure. Back out to DSD's Una Samuels. So 335 PB for her as well. Taper on the knees, that tendonitis, curse of all jumpers all around the world. Not to diagnose it from afar, but I'd imagine that's what it's preventing, if nothing else. Shot putters getting in the way, Cahill, as we just try to see that jump. The big men are heading towards
there he is, the next Jakob Inge Brixen. You heard it here first. Owen Looney, Rathpeak in high school. Dominance personified in that Carsa primary boys mile. Not to overhype the poor young lad, but well done. Keep up your running, enjoy your running indeed, whether you're first or last, stick at it. A lot of champions were never winning things at this ages. A lot of them also were. Jakob was one of them. Maybe Owen Looney will go on to great things in the future, or any of those men. Next up on track is going to be the Ian Yago Memorial T54 wheelchair 800 metre race.
Familiar face of this one, Cahill, of Isaac Towers. We've seen him here certainly 2 years ago, maybe previous events as well. He is our prior champion in this event. 2 years later he is back, and let's see what sort of form he is in, the man from England. We've got Kyle Brotherton, Ben Rowlings. Towers goes in, I think he's in lane 4 or lane 3, and then Sam Kolek of Poland, Ilias Zagundi of England on the outside lane. The bar is going to go up to 185 in the high jump for our Hungarian champion. Pole vault failure there, just from Noelle Mulcahy. That's her second attempt at 310.
As we get confirmation of that boys mile, Owen Looney 5:02, just at 27 seconds to spare over Conor Toohig second, and then Fiona Leary taking the bronze medal. Well done to all the competitors and indeed all the medalists. And we're back on track for the Ian Jago Memorial 800 metres T54 men's wheelchair race, and there are some heavy hitters in here, from Isaac Towers to Sam Kolek, Elias Segundi and others. And as we see there on the outside, I think that is Sam Kolek who is racing towards the front there. Sam Kolek is a very accomplished, he's done marathon, he's done swimming, and he's a former boxer based in Liverpool. And obviously he represents Poland but based in England, and his Instagram handle is a great one, Jared. It's called Liverpool. Nice.
Look back at the high jump here, Fedra Fiketa, 185, and it's a first time failure for a Hungarian. So you have 2 more attempts. She has the competition wrapped up already, just going to get herself back into a bit of form here. And it's all action here on the track in this men's 800 metre wheelchair race. It's a fearsome event to watch, and I can tell you, especially live, it is intense. The speed these men are coming down the track at now, it is through the bell. And in the lead, Carl, who have we got?
Yeah, it's number 2 from number 1. That's Isaac Towers ahead of Ben Rowlings at the moment. And Towers but he's been challenged here at the moment. Ben Rowlings on the inside is not letting him go. But Towers is trying. It's 2 Englishmen up front, and it is the Scot, the Polish, and the other Englishman trailing behind. But he tries to go up on the outside there, does Isaac Towers. But I think he's not been let past by Rowlings. Rowlings in that green strip is just holding the inside line well. They've hit 600 metres in about 126. It's a good pace, and having to do all the extra metres around that bend, he's losing ground there, is Ben Rowlings, and it looks like is Isaac Towers. Isaac Towers is on the outside. And in that green, it is Ben Rawlings, who looks to be the stronger. Can he hold on though? Rawlings from Towers. It is Rawlings hanging on, but it's going to be very close. Towers is charging. We're right on the line. And it was Ben Rawlings who got it, who hung on for dear life from that inside lane. He held the inside lane all the way around that bend. And I think during the end, that just about handed him the victory.
Absolutely, that was a finish and a half. I can tell you, we were stationed just on the finish line here, and that was pure excitement. Just millimeters in it in the end, on the line. It'd be a photo finish to confirm their times, but a brilliant performance from all those men. And Ben Rawlings, as you said, just got to the front and held on. Isaac Towers, our champion in 2022, has to settle for the silver, the second position here on this one. Just couldn't quite get in when he needed to there with on that bend. Held off by Rawlings, and that was the position, the way it stayed the whole way home. Just a couple of centimeters in the difference in the end. As we see back on the pole vault runway, the excitement of that men's 800 wheelchair race. Maeve Corkery of Middleton AC. No good there, unfortunately, for Maeve at 3:20, and second attempt at the high jump at 1:85 for Frederick Fakede of Hungary. Results there on the top right from that Ian Jago Memorial 800 metre race. Ben Rawlings, as you said, is just 300ths of a second at the end from Isaac Towers. That's the speed those men were moving at. Looked like a bigger gap live, but the speed they move at, just 300ths to separate from Elias Segundi and Kyle Brotherton and Sam Kolak. And Fakate, second attempt, no good, unfortunately, at 185 in the high jump, as Maeve Corkery just gets herself ready for her next attempt at 3:20 in the pole vault.
As we see, the medals are being presented there. Third place, Nicola Tuttle on the right. Second place, Janae Kilsanavoid on the left. And the champion, Brooke Anderson. It's a tough summer for her. Throwing 79 metres and not getting to go to the Olympics is cruel, but she is making the most of it now out here on the European circuit, competing, and a win and a big smile on her face for Brooke Anderson, the third longest hammer thrower in history on the women's side. In the centre of that shot. Brilliant stuff from those three hammer ladies. You're seeing a rising Irish star mature before your eyes there in that yellow vest of UCD, the Cork woman Nicola Tuttle, with two global stars of the event from the United States.
Something that athletes don't get very often called medals. So nice different twist here at Cork City Sports. These international class athletes picking up their medals on the podium. Bit of crack if nothing else. And on the pole vault runway there, Maeve Corkery, 3:20, and she goes clear.
Personal best. Personal best alert. No, it's not. I was thought it was 3:15. I can't read you.
3:35 is her best, but certainly a much better attempt than her previous, and she goes well clear of 3:20 there, Corkery.
Yeah, so we've had a brilliant finish in that T54 Ian Jago Memorial 800 metres. And next up on track, as you can see in the top left, it's going to be the women's 100 metres.
Yeah, action coming thick and fast here, Carl. The men's long jump are just getting themselves warmed up here under the main stand as well. But we're starting to heat up on the track into our sprint action. The women's race 1 and race 2, the 100 metres followed by the men. And as I said, up first we've got Sarah Lee, Fatima Amasa, Alana Ryan, Elena O'Sullivan, Lauren O'Leary and Alicia Barrett in this one for race 1 of the Centra 100 metres for women. So it's an Irish affair barring Alicia Barrett, who will line up in the hurdles later on this evening as well. But race number 1 is going to be an interesting one to kick off the sprints action here. Now women. I can see them lining up. Looks like possibly Alana Ryan is absent. We have an empty lane there. We certainly have Sarah Lee, Fatima Amasa from right to left. Just getting the officials to confirm their positions. 2 lanes empty there in the middle. And the men's shot put there, getting themselves warmed up as well. We've seen fantastic competition here last time out with 2 Irishmen going over 20 metres. John Kelly and Eric Favours, something that we'd never seen before. Eric Favours is now off to the Olympics in Paris as well, the Raheny Shamrock, Irish record holder indoors and out. And you can see those men just getting themselves ready for that competition to kick off very, very soon, getting themselves familiar with the sector as the women's 100 metre race 1 get themselves ready to go. Call to our marks. A couple of empty lanes in the middle, but keep an eye on Sarah Lee there on the right hand side in that pink vest as we're down just after this race. I think we've got a teaser there. We're going to have something coming up on the infield. But we're due to have Alicia Barrett, Fatima Amasa, Sarah Lee, Alana Ryan, Elena O'Sullivan and Lauren O'Leary coming right up. Sarah Lee in that pink vest is a multiple medalist at the Irish National Championships, and we are away first time cleanly here. And look at Leahy go there on the inside in that pink vest in lane 1. She is ripping away with this one. Lauren O'Ryan in the middle is going very well as well. Fatima Amasa, but it's going to be a fantastic performance there. 11:72 on the clock for Sarah Lee there. A brilliant performance of the Clarny Valley AC athlete in the luminous pink. And we're going to jump down on track for an interview with Trevor.
Well, Brooke, congratulations on winning the event here at the 70th Cork City Sports tonight, and a new meet record. You must be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun setting a new meet record. Definitely wish I could have gone a little bit further, but it's always nice to set a meet record, so I'm very blessed.
A bit off your season's best, of course.
Yeah, a little bit off, so today was a bit of a rough day at the office, but it's okay, just working towards the main goal.
So what was the experience like here for you tonight in front of a large crowd in Cork, and what were the conditions like too?
Yeah, the crowd was awesome. Everyone was cheering for us and cheering us on, and I think it was a really fun comp, honestly. Weather here was a bit chilly than I'm used to, but nothing I couldn't manage, so I think overall it was a really fun competition to be a part of.
Yeah. And just finally, preparations now for a few weeks' time?
Unfortunately, I didn't make the Olympic team this year. So I don't know when my next meet will be this season, so hopefully I'll have one more. I had a bit of a rough trials, unfortunately, so they won't be sending me, but I'll be cheering on the rest of the girls today for Sunday.
Well done on your win tonight. Well done. Thank you, Brooke.
Great to hear from Brooke Anderson there, our hammer throw champion tonight, and brilliant to see an athlete of that calibre there in the flesh at the Cork City Sports. Truly one of the world's best, not just in her own event but across the disciplines, and she put on a show for the crowd. And as you can see, throwers are back in the habit. They're in the circle for the men's shot put, which will be getting underway soon. They're still in warm-up mode at the moment. As you can see, none of the numbers are currently visible. T-shirt's still on, but the men's long jumpers are about to get going.
Yeah, we saw Rhys Adamola, the Irish champion, take his first attempt, but that was 6.86, so a very modest start for him. And this looks like Sam Healy on the runway, taking his first attempt. Another local man.
Nicola, a third place finish here at the 70th Cork City Sports tonight, and not far off your season's best. How do you view your performance here this evening?
Good, yeah, I'm delighted to have come third. It's my first time doing the Cork City Sports, and I was up here every year as a child watching it, so there's such a world-class field here, so it's amazing to be able to come up in my top three, and would have liked to be a bit more consistent, up closer to that 70, but I'm training in a very heavy training block at the moment, just to get a good bit of training in, so delighted, yeah.
Crowd were right behind you there tonight, big large crowd here in Cork.
Definitely, I know, it's because I've never competed in the Cork City Sports before, but the crowd is amazing. I've never heard such a cheer. It's lovely. Really, yeah, I think it really helps as well.
Could you sum up 2024 for us?
Amazing, yeah. I've had a really good season, so I'm looking forward to keeping competing and yeah, hopefully building on it again. Thank you.
Look out for the brilliant Nicola Tuttle at the Paris Olympics in just a few weeks' time. Her Olympic debut. She said all her target this year was for the Europeans when I was talking to her a few weeks ago, and it didn't really bother her too much if she made it or not, but of course she wanted to become an Olympian, and it came around a lot sooner, 4 years to be precise, sooner than she had expected.
Alessandro Sceni there on the runway, man from Great Britain. He is 8-metre jumper at his best, so his first attempt. You see James Kelly down the bottom right just getting his warm-up throw in, man from Finn Valley AC in Donegal. And Sceni looks like he's got a red flag there. You can see that flag blowing quite strongly as well. I did see a 1.6 up on the screen for possibly that women's 100 metres, so that would be a legal wind. So certainly our 100 and 200 metre and hurdlers will be keeping a close eye on those wind gauges for the long jump to see what they're in for. It's not warm here, maybe 15 degrees and breezy, but still for Irish and Great British athletes in particular, they'll be well used to this kind of weather to jump far, run fast and throw far as the evening progresses. But it's all action, that women's race two rather, of the centre 100 metres. Up next, Molly Scott there on the right of your screen in the white and green. She will be joined by Renee Regis, Phil Healy, Celera Barnes, Anne-Marie Kivikas, Joan Healy, Jessica Hunter and Ebony Morrison. So Phil Healy in lane 3 there, the former Irish record holder, broken then last year by Sarah Lavin, who will go on the 100 metre hurdles later, has that hurdles record as well as the indoor record, broken Derval O'Rourke's. And that 100 metres again broken Cahill last weekend at the Irish National Championships by none other than Rashid Adeleke. Now holds every sprint record there is for Ireland, 60 right up through even the odd events like the 300s.
Jar, I don't know, the 800 metre runners tell me that's a sprint now, so come on Rashida, step up your game.
Let's go for it to see a quick look at that high jump result. Hungarian on top, Fakete 183 for the win.
The 800 was certainly a sprint at the Paris Diamond League on Sunday.
Sure was.
141s falling all over the place, and 142s.
Maeve Corkery just checking her pole before a 340 attempt. The women's 100 metre runners getting themselves ready to go again. Kits off behind the blocks. Molly Scott, Renee Regis, Phil Healy, Celera Barnes.
Yeah, it looks like they are all present and correct for this.
I think we may have an addition of Joan Healy on the start list at least, but we'll just keep an eye on the lanes to see. But certainly the one to watch here, Celera Barnes in lane 4, an outstanding sprinter. 10.94 at her best. Like truly world class.
Yeah, so and she comes here in flying form as well, coming off a win in Hengelo. I was talking to her there on Sunday. She ran 11.19 in horrible conditions, so she's in brilliant form. She helped the USA to gold in the World Relays back in April, so look out for Celera Barnes. It was wind assisted at 10.94, but she's run a wind legal 11.02. She goes in lane 4 there in that Adidas strip.
So we don't have Joan Healy there. We can see that lane 6 is empty, so Phil's sister Joan not lining up in this one, but everyone else present and accounted for.
Yeah, I think Joan was hoping to perhaps sign off here, but she had to basically call an early retirement. In an interview with Kieran McCarthy at the Southern Star newspaper, announced that retirement just in recent days due to heartbreaking injuries for her. But we wish her all the best if that is indeed the end of the road. But we'll look out for her sister Phil here going up against some serious international rivals.
Absolutely. So Molly Scott there, Jessica Hunter out in the luminous yellow shorts, and Ebony Morrison beside her will go in the hurdles later on today as well. And Renee Regis in lane 2 will line up in the 200 metres. But what can Celera Barnes produce here? This could be blistering. Let's see how the wind favours these athletes in race 2 of this women's 100 metres. We've got Scott, Regis, Healy, Barnes, Kivikas, Hunter and Morrison. Athletes are on their marks and there's a hush descends across the stadium. Keep an eye on that lane 4, Celera Barnes. Molly Scott in lane 1 will get away to a blistering start, and we are away cleanly first time as Celera Barnes is away, and she is flying it. Renee Regis going very well in 2, as is Molly Scott in lane 1. Phil Healy with a bit of work to get back up here. Ebony Morrison going very well on the outside here, but Barnes is the winner, 11.15, absolutely blistering, and the wind just illegal 3.2, so strong following wind here, but 11.15 is really something special here in Cork. Fantastic running from Slira Barnes of the USA. Putting on a show here, getting the win as she was due to do. We see Sonia O'Sullivan on
She's
the screen.
had enough. It was too fast for her. She's had enough. She can't hack it.
Couldn't even see it was that fast. But Slira Barnes got away clear, and she was away. Ebony Morrison with a brilliant performance there. 11.36 from Renee Regis. 11.41. Phil Healy first of the Irish. 11.45. And Molly Scott with a brilliant run of 11.56. All wind assisted, of course, from Anne-Marie Kivikas. 11.70. Jessica Hunter 11.90, so those all unofficial on the infield clock at the minute. 11.14 corrected there. Cathal, I know you would normally say round it down, but Slira Barnes gets the win for the USA. Fantastic running from a truly world class sprinter.
Yeah, and I think, let's face it, these athletes are here in front of us. Well done to Slira Barnes, a truly world-class operator, but it does underline, you have to say, just the calibre of run that everyone got to witness at Nationals from Rashida Adelecki, given that was a wind of half the strength. It was a 1.6, I think, there. Slira Barnes, a 10.94 athlete, running with a 3.2 there, just a 100 behind that time of Rashida Adelecki. So, yeah, but great to witness speed like that on Irish tracks, from Rashida's 11.13 to Slira Barnes' 11.14, and indeed Phil Healy's 11.45 there. But of course we know she's training for the longer distances, looking to do a great turn for two Irish relay teams perhaps at the upcoming Olympic Games, the mixed 4x4 and indeed the women's 4x4. And wasn't she brilliant at the Europeans in Rome? Great to see Phil Healy, the Ballonine bullet, back to her very best this year.
Yeah, she'll be lining up in that women's 200 metres later on this evening as well. She will be with her relay teammate in that one of Sophie Becker, so it'll be interesting to see those two going head to head. Of course, they will be both hopefully heading off to Paris in a couple of weeks, part of those relays, and silver medals around their neck from the European Championships in Rome. And the men's, you can just see that high jump presentation, so we do have a joint third there from Tavernini and Summerlecki on the third podium. And we've got our number one, our Karakas of Hungary, took the title there. Gets her gold medal here in Cork. Shot put just getting raked as the men are lining up to get their introductions. We're going to cut down to the infield.
I'll stream, live stream. Well, Phil, what was that like for you?
Oh, it's definitely different running 100, but it was actually so much fun. Definitely got left behind at the start. You could tell that I haven't ran 100s very often, but to come away that close to some of the girls in that field, like, it's unreal, and I'm looking forward to coming out later doing the 200. The buzz here is unbelievable. You can see the stand is full, the whole area around the stadium is full. Having a games like this, competition like this at home with stacked international field is an absolute credit to the Cork City Sports Committee, and it's brilliant prep for all of us Irish athletes to competing with the best of the best before we head off to Paris.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that, Phil, that this is a good competition for you because it's all about preparation over the next few weeks, isn't it?
Absolutely. Look, it's a very exciting few weeks for Team Ireland in general. It's been a great summer so far, and having a meet like this on your doorstep is absolutely super. We have stacked fields across all events tonight. We're on the track and in the field, so it's a great event for the crowd and for everybody to come locally as well.
And as you said, you'll be pitting your wits against Sophie Becker in the 200th later.
Yeah, it's great to see Sophie drop down to the 200. So yeah, it's exciting. No doubt she's going to love the atmosphere when she steps out here on the track later, and it's going to be very exciting.
Well done. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Great to hear from Phil Healy, the former Irish 100 metre record holder, 11.28 second woman. It's probably her third distance. Just shows the versatility of how brilliant a sprinter Phil Healy has been and what a servant she has been over the years for Irish athletics. Many athletes faced with her situation could easily have walked away from the sports of recent years when she came to terms with an autoimmune condition. It really sapped her strength, sapped her energy, left her running way below par, but she got it right, got the levels right, fixed her thyroid, and now Phil Healy is back. She has her energy back, she has her vitality back, and she is running better than ever. And how great it is to see Phil Healy helping Irish relay teams to medals on the international stage. Can Paris perhaps follow where Rome left off? We'll find out in a few weeks' time. But brilliant stuff. But the job is only half done for Phil Healy tonight. And it's great to hear from there. Almost like a half-time football interview there, Jared, to hear from Phil Healy. And she'll be heading out for double the distance later on.
Absolutely no better woman than Phil Healy to tug out more than once. We see she was the first athlete to represent Ireland in 3 events in Olympic Games, doing that 200, 400 and mixed relay treble in Tokyo. And she's going to have a busy Olympics coming up once again in Paris, I'm sure. Just missed out on that 200 metre spot, but will be there representing Ireland for those relays. You can see the men's 100 metre race 1 getting their blocks set. Just if you want to keep an eye on that field event action, results.munsterathletics.com. That's MUNSTER for Munster. And Michael Farley, Teddy Wilson, Ian Kerr, Bori Akinola, Paul Costello, Colin Doyle and Oscar Sgrava will line up in this one. It's going to be an interesting one here. We just see that women's race 2, Slara Barnes, Ebony Morrison and Renee Regis on the line. We'll see 2 more of them later on this evening, Regis in the 200 and Morrison in the 100 metre hurdles. Said that men's 100 metres is going to be an interesting one. We had Oscar Sgrava, the individual 200 metres in Rome, as the shot put is kicking off. That's a vest that I'm not familiar with, but we'll get a quick look at.
Yeah, that's number 6. That's Tadeusz Prochaska. He's from the Czech Republic, or Czechia as it's now known. So that's why you're not familiar with it, Ger. You haven't been spending enough time competing in the Czech system. What have you been playing at?
Been abroad enough this year. It's actually North Cork AC, Colin.
Oh, close enough. I thought that 8 was a 6. That's Callum Keating of Ireland. Apologies, Callum, and clubmates and family.
Never mind, Callum. Apologise to me.
You still haven't been spending enough time in the Czech club system.
True, that's very true. So Callum Keating gets the action underway there on the screen, certainly.
This is Tadeusz Prochaska of Czechia.
Now, I recognise him, of course.
Of course, I know him well.
He's a 1935 metre thrower at his best. How he would love to get out over that 20 metre mark. And we saw it here a couple of years ago historically from the 2 Irishmen, John Kelly and Eric Favours. What's today going to bring? As I said, results.munsterathletics.com with that the field event action of the men's long jump and the pole vault, and the men's high jump is just getting warmed up as
Jason Smith you're seeing in the men's long jump. He was a finalist at the US Olympic Trials. An outstanding jumper.
Yeah, 7:52 he went in his first round jump, so he is in the lead as it stands from Sam Healy and Shane Howard, is in second from Sam Healy. So 3 Cork men in this one. It's 4 in fact, with Ryan Ono in there, as well as Rhys Adamola.
Yeah, Long Beach State University graduate. It's Jason Smith.
Frank Alemba there in the shot put. And that men's high jump, as I mentioned, is due to get underway very shortly, an all-Irish affair here, and that is the 5 men from the Irish National Championship. Certainly the top 3, or the medalists. There was a joint medal there for Emmanuel Osses and Ben O'Donovan. But David Cusson took the title there, and Conor Penny, 15 years old, 2:09 at his best this year, so he'll be a very interesting one to look at.
That was Jeff Klein of the United States in the men's shot put. Again, not the best angle behind them there to just see where those shots are landing.
And the men's 100 metre race 1 has just been called to its marks. As Shane Howard powers down the runway in that long jump, and he gets a red flag, unfortunately. So our 100 metre men are just called off their marks once again.
That was very kind of them. They knew we hadn't given it the proper introduction. But this is what you might call the B race, I suppose, race 1. The second race that will be following it will have the athletes with the faster personal bests and season's bests. But there's certainly no slouches here. Bori Akinola, their silver medal behind Israel Olatunde in that UCD vest in lane 5. As we get a quick look at Jesper Arbinga of Sweden in the men's shot put, 1997 in the first round.
Yeah,
back on track.
Bori Akinola there in the yellow PB, in second place there at the 100 metres national championships here in Ireland. So what can he do here today in race 1? I'm sure he would want to be in that faster race to show what he's worth, but he's going to have some good competition here from the likes of Ian Kerr of the Bahamas, Teddy Wilson of Great Britain, and Oscar Sgrava, as well as his countryman. And we are away cleanly first time. Ian Kerr is going there very well in the pink of Nike. He looks to be clear at the minute. beside him there is Ian Curtis is coming through in the Adidas, and it was Teddy Wilson that was out so well there. 10:34 on the clock, plus 3.9, so a huge tailwind here once again, and we'll wait to see what the times are like behind that. But Bori Akinola for UCD didn't quite get away as well as he normally does back in that shot put circle, but we might see a replay of that men's 100 metre very shortly. But Teddy Wilson there in the fluorescent pink of the Nike kit, young man from Great Britain, the 10:26 PB this year. Ian Kerr, the Bahamas, beside him in the Adidas, came through quite strongly, and it was Kerr who got the win. We've seen him here competing in the past. He's in that 200 metres later today. You can see that replay there. Akinola in the yellow in the middle had to settle for third in 10:45. Got out quite well, but it was Teddy Wilson there just going very, very well in lane 3. A gap there to Michael Farley in lane 1. But Wilson certainly had the command of this race for the first 70, 80, 90 metres before Ian Kerr decided, you know what, I'm coming through. This is for me. Bori Akinola in second, probably for a lot of it too, but had to settle for third. These men pulling away towards the end. Ian Kerr showing that strength and an extensive dip to get the win. Oscars Grava took fourth, Colin Doyle, Paul Costello and Michael Farley, as you see on screen now. Rounding it out, plus 3.9 as I said on the clock, on the wind gauge rather. So no legal times here so far this evening on the sprints.
And I can assure you that the spectators are getting an up close and personal view of the men's long jump, because the poor man in front of me here was just watching Colin Burke. Well, he wasn't actually watching as Colin Burke hit the sand, the Sligo long jumper, but he got a face full of sand as he stood alongside the railings. Anyway,
it's 4D experience.
It is a 4D experience, I'm telling you. This is number 9, Liam Shaw of Ireland in the men's shot put.
Yeah, young man from Galway is making good strides up through the ranks, multi-eventer into the shot put, and now he is battling his way up to the senior weight. So progression to be made every competition for young Liam Shaw.
Certainly. Here is Rhys Adamola, the young star, 5th at the World Under-20 Championships 2 years ago. The 21-year-old Cork man, such talent, such ability. 793 indoors this year. He's threatening that 8 metre barrier all the time. It almost seems a matter of time if he stays healthy before Rhys Adamola breaks 8 metres.
And you're not seeing double here. That is Alex Adamola in the shot put. So that's an interesting lineup we've got here. Alex is a multi-eventer. So the two men, both 6'9", 6'10", one in the shot put, one in the long jump. It's a pity Rhys didn't start his jump a little bit early there. Would have been a nice little montage, but certainly
Alex,
something you don't see too often. Alex in the shot put, Rhys in the long jump.
Alex definitely likes his brother, because you're never copying his hairstyle. Or maybe Rhys copied Alex, who knows?
Who knows?
Either way,
it's a family affair, and Rhys is powering down the long jump here. He's getting a big clap from the crowd. He just runs through on this one, unfortunately. So Alex wins this one.
I think Alex put him off.
Yeah, Alex wins.
I think he said,
round.
my hair is way cooler than yours.
Hopefully we get the head-to-head on every round now of this.
But yeah, two rising stars of Irish athletics, and great to follow their progress. Rhys has made his name internationally already, and I'm sure will be again in the years to come. As we look back, that is... Didn't quite catch that number. Might be Simon Mazur of Poland.
Just have a look at the results here to get an update on those men's throws. Big field in that men's shot put, a good domestic turnout as well for it. Like you said, it's great for athletes, local athletes, to get a chance to compete in world-class meets like this and against truly world-class operators. Current standings in that shot put. So Jesper Arbinger 1997, so close to that 20 metre mark. Victor Peterson 1981, Frank Alemba 1882. Top 3 so far. Jeff Klein in third, and Sam Healy just with a run through in the long jump.
And we are in that third round, early in the third round of that men's long jump, and I can tell you that Jason Smith, the Californian, is out front with 7:52 at the moment. Shane Howard, the local lad, is back in second, but just behind with 7:49. And then it is Rhys Adamola, another local lad, back in third. So right now it's USA AOK on top with Jason Smith, that finalist from the US Olympic trials just recently, a man who's gone well beyond 8 metres, the graduate of the wonderful Reardon High School in San Francisco. But he's ahead of the two Cork men as things stand, but it's still early days in that men's long jump. We'll keep an eye. And as you can see, everyone in the stands and alongside that runway has a brilliant view of these athletes. This is Alessandro Schieni of Great Britain. He's on the runway, arms spread wide. 24-year-old, represents Givenagh North, Strathclyde University. Season's best of 7:77 does Schienini.
Just see the presentation for that Ian Jago Memorial 800 metres for the T54 wheelchair man, Ben Rowlings, taking the win in that one in a really exciting race from Isaac Towers, but 300ths of a second, and Ilias Zagunda a couple of seconds back in third.
Schienini, the 24-year-old Briton, did not like the look of that one. He was third at the British Championships recently. Personal best of 8 metres goes back to last year, but something amiss. And he's just shaking his head as he walks past in front of us. But he'll have a few more chances, Will Schienini, to get things right. 7:18 at the moment. He's down in 6th. So next up on track, it's going to be the A race, you could call it, in the men's 100 metres.
Yeah, just after this presentation we'll get a look at those men. They have their blocks set up and they're still in their kit ready to go, staying warm. So Rowlands, Zagunda.
Here is Jason Smith on the runway, the leader in the men's long jump. The Californian sprints down the runway, great speed and elevation. Does he get the white flag? He does. The official gave him a nervous few seconds there thinking about it. But Jason Smith is out of the runway, batting that sand off his spikes. The Long Beach State graduate, still based in San Diego, just outside San Diego, I think. A youngster who's going places. 25-year-old, jumped 8:13 already this year. As we'll see a slow-mo of this, and Gerard Donald can give us his technical expertise on how you jump.
Trying to have a look at the scoreboard on the infield here to see what the result shows up as.
7:27 it's come into the system there, so Jason Smith, it's no improvement, but he stays out front on 7:52. Jason Smith,
leader.
of course, a name that's familiar to all in Irish and international athletics, especially in the Paralympic world, the fastest Paralympian in the world for so long. His career is now finished, Jason Smith.
You see the fastest men here stripping off call: Gerald Quaino, Kobe Hilton, CJ Green, Greta Sheetway, Malenga, Earl Simmons, Israel Olatunde and JT Smith taking to the field in this one. And Israel Olatunde, Ireland's fastest man in history, 10:17 at those European Championships in Munich 2 years ago for a 6th place finish. Back into good form, national title last weekend, the season's best. Got to the semi-finals in the Rome in the 100 metres. He is chipping away at those times this year, but he's going to have a lot of competition from the likes of Kobe Hilton, CJ Green, Malenga and JT Smith in particular in that one.
Looking back to the long jump there, that is number 7, that's Yanni Samson of Belgium. He is wearing the Belgian national vest. Good to see that. Introductions ongoing for the men's 100 metres. I think we can probably go back over to the men's 100 metres because we're only moments away, I'd say, before they get called into the blocks.
Yeah, really interesting lineup in this one. CJ Green 10:00 in Claremont earlier this season. Malenga, a world under 18 champion, over 200 metres in 2017, 100 metres silver, has a windy 993 to his name. He's back off a doping ban, unfortunately, but he is back a couple of years now, getting towards his best again. Let's see what he can put down here in Cork this evening. JT Smith, 9th at the US trials this year, so he is in good form. Got himself a medal in the Budapest World Championships as part of that 4x1 team last year. They ran in the semi-final for USA. And Israel Olatunde of Ireland out there in lane 8. He carries Irish hopes on his shoulder. We do have lane 6 empty. Sebastian Sultana of Australia, one of the best names there is so at the moment in track and field. He'll go on that 4x1 relay team to Paris for the Australians, but he is absent. Let's keep an eye on those middle lanes as always. Malenga in lane 4, Green in 3, And in lane 2, Kobe Hilton is a lightning starter. He's 6:51 indoors over 60 metres, and it is away as predicted. Hilton is flying it there in the Tracksmith strip. In lane 2, he's going to come away with this one so far. He is away and he is clear. He has got daylight, 10:09. The wind says 2.2, just over the limit. That would be a personal best, I think, for Kobe Hilton. He has run in the 10-1s many times so far this year. 10:08 is corrected to for Kobe Hilton. Fantastic performance for the young American man. CJ Green back in 10:20, and Hilton, I think, has been playing his trade around the south east of Ireland for a while now in the last few weeks, with Kevin Cogley keeping an eye on him down there amongst others. I'm not sure what the link is, I'm sure Kevin will tell us, but Hilton, certainly Irish eyes smiling on him this evening. 10:08 for Kobe Hilton. A brilliant performance here. We see the replay of this one in lane 2 there in that black one piece with the stripe across.
Yeah, Ger, he started the best and he ran the fastest, and really that's the story of the race.
Yeah, the man who crosses the line first is the fastest starter, CJ Green, 10:20 in second, and Earl Simon got third from JT Smith. Just have to wait and see what Israel Tunde pulled out of the bag there. We have a 10:29 for fifth down with no name at the moment, but just another quick look at that replay. As I said, 6:51 Hilton has run indoors, so we knew he was going to get away fast, but once he got out there was no coming back. That little tailwind really helped him, the tall man, in lane 2. Not the ideal lane, you want to be in the middle in the mix, but he was streaks clear. You don't often see a gap like that in a sprint which is won so quickly.
Yeah, 1200ths of a second for Hilton. You could see high step in there with his knees. Textbook technique. He got a bit ragged there in the last 20 metres. The tailwind may have been influencing him in that. He was probably running a bit faster than he expected to be running tonight, but a brilliant performance by Kobe Hilton. Takes victory with that 10:08. And Trevor is now with Ireland's fastest man, Israel Olatunde.
Some races, competition for you here in Cork tonight.
Yeah, of course, that's what I expected. I knew it was going to be some stiff competition. It's a great meet that Cork City Sports has put on, so I just want to come out here and compete to the best of my ability, and I'm really happy to do that.
What's your view of your performance here?
I think I did pretty well. I was in the mix. Obviously, you want to finish as high as you can, so I'll go back and look at it and see where I can improve. But it's just really great atmosphere here, so I really had fun during that race.
What it's all about is an improvement in every race you enter.
Yeah, of course. After nationals, of course, I don't have any more championships to focus on this year, but it was about showing up, having fun, and putting on a show for the Irish fans.
It's been an exciting year for you, though, hasn't it?
100%. For myself and also for Irish lives in general. It's been great. Obviously, as an athlete, but also I'm a fan of the sport, so it's been great seeing all the great performances Irish athletes are putting down.
Yeah, it certainly has been a great year for Irish athletics, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I know it's going to continue on this summer.
What about the crowd just finally here? Massive crowd in Cork.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I guess that's why I came down to race. So I just knew it was going to be a great crowd, great atmosphere. I love racing in Ireland for an Irish crowd. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, great to hear from Israel Tunde there. 10:25 was his time on the clock in the infield for fourth place, Ireland's fastest man, and as he said, just brilliant to be competing amongst the best down here in Cork and to see the rise of athletics in Ireland at the moment.
Yeah, next race on track will be the women's 3,000 metres, the Cork ETB women's 3,000 metres. But we'll keep an eye on the field events for the time being before we're introduced to some budding Olympians, specifically Sophie O'Sullivan will be running the 1,500 metres for Ireland at the Olympics in just a few weeks' time. She'll be racing the 3,000 metres, but now it's presentation time for that men's 100 metres.
And Kobe Hilton getting his gold medal there on top of the podium. Cork City Sports champion in that 10:08, just 2.2 wind, slightly over the limit of 2:00. But a fantastic performance, and one that will give him great confidence now going into his summer season in Europe.
Kobe, all class, well done. 10:08 on a cool night in Cork. As we see that stand packed, how great that is to see the recently reopened MTU track. Kobe Hilton confirmation there, the American takes victory. 10:08, CJ Green 10:20 for second, and Earl Simmons in third with 10:25, and Israel Olatunde, his season's best, was 10:27. That's not wind legal, just over, but that's still pretty much a step forward, we can call it, for Israel Olatunde, getting back towards his very best form after a tough year or two since that brilliant 6th place finish in the European final 2 years ago, where he ran that remarkable 10:17. I can tell you, we've had a false start in the women's 3,000 metres. That's how eager they are to get these 7.5 laps out of the way. They have false started over in the back straight, but we won't miss a second of that, because they're being told, get back on the line, stand back behind the line, and we'll very much look forward to a great 7.5 lap race that features a host of international quality from the likes of Britain's Verity Ockenden, USA's Taylor Werner, Irish women Roisin Flanagan, Sophie O'Sullivan, and of course Eleanor Fulton as well of America, USA. She's in there, the Colorado native.
When you see the likes of Kobe Hilton, Israel Olatunde, CJ Green get out of the blocks at that call, it's hard not to be too eager and go ahead of time. So we see the full lineup there of those women in that 3,000 metres. Just awaiting their starters' orders once again. There's a few craned necks. As I said, Michelle Finn, Dario Preta Suarez, Claire Fagan, Diana Mezziliana Oko, Nancy Sherop, Liliana Vinix-Toff, Eleanor Fulton, Sophia Sullivan, Cara Fane Ryan. And we are away, finally, Carl, underway. This women's 3,000 metre sport, sponsored by Cork ETB. Big field here as well, but it is a cool, windy night in Cork, so I'm sure a bit of shelter from some of these athletes, they'll be happy enough.
Yeah, as we said, we've seen a lot of 3 metres per second tailwinds there up the home straight, but that all takes away from you when you have to run into it up the back straight. As we see the 2-time Olympian Michelle Finn from Ireland, she won't be going this year, but she's going to be doing a good pacing job here. One of the most experienced athletes in Irish athletics, tows this field through in about 33 seconds. And Sophie O'Sullivan, the soon-to-be Olympian over 1,500 metres, the daughter of Sonia O'Sullivan. For so long, she always gets that suffix added to her name that she's Sonia's daughter, but she is very much carving out a name and a career all of her own. One of the fastest Irish women in history over the distance, a European under-23 gold medalist, the tallest athlete in the field. She's tucked in there in 3rd place at the moment. Michelle Finn leading it out, and it looks a decent pace right now. And there's plenty of quality in here. When you look at Verity Ockenden of Britain, you know, she was a European indoor bronze medalist in 2021, silver recently at the UK Champs over 5,000 metres. They go through in 70 seconds there, so that's 8:45 pace. That'll be a personal best for most of these women, but some of them have run quicker than that. I'm looking specifically at Sophie O'Sullivan, who's run 8:44, as has Eleanor Fulton of USA. So personal bests in the offing here, and a bit of key strength work for the likes of Sophia Sullivan before she drops down to 1,500 in Paris.
That was Owen O'Callaghan just failing at 190 in the men's high jump. So he has gone clear at 180, as has Emmanuel Osas, who also cleared 185. Ben Donovan is out at that one, unfortunately, at 185, 180, his best clearance. And this is Emmanuel Osas going for 190, his first attempt. And it is a failure there as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, and back on track, Michelle Finn, to be fair, is keeping this very honest and very consistent and doing a great pacemaking job. She's one of the most experienced athletes in Irish middle distance running, and she's doing a brilliant job here taking these women up to 800 metres. She's been cross-training the house down for the last 8 or 9 months. Injuries derailed her bid at the Paris Olympics, and she was confined to the cross-trainer and the aqua-jogging pool and all the rest of it. She's hitting form again, but she's hitting form a little bit too late, but she's doing a great pacing job, and she's just starting to gap the field just a little there, and that is Eleanor Fulton in second, a tall blonde athlete from the United States. She's an 8:44 athlete at her best. She too is no stranger to injuries. The University of Washington graduate, the Colorado native, such a big talent, but she's getting back towards her best form. She ran 4:07 for 1,500 metres last year and made a semi-final recently at the US Olympic Trials. Eleanor Fulton, the de facto leader at the moment, or will be when Michelle Finn steps aside.
Yeah, Yanni Sampson just a run through there in the men's long jump for Belgium, and the shot put Alex Adamola gets a red flag and cut across to Conor Penny in the high jump at 190, and he just sails clear of that one. Conor Penny, as I mentioned briefly earlier, just 15 years of age, and he's cleared 2:09 already this year. Silver medalist at the national championships behind David Cusson in Ireland just last week, but 2:09 at 15, and is also a very accomplished sprint hurdler is Penny. his progression will be certainly one to watch over the next number of years, breaking records all around.
But they're coming through 1200 in the women's 3000 metres, 3:33 on the clock, so 71 second laps adds up to about 8:52, but you can expect him to kick it on from here. And Michelle Finn is just getting a little reminder there from Nancy Sharop, the Kenyan, the Essex Chojo Camp athlete, up into second at the moment, and just says, push it on there, Michelle, I want to go faster, perhaps aware that pace has just lagged slightly off the 8:45 pace they had set out with. And Michelle Finn duly responds like the brilliant, experienced athlete she is. She kicks it into gear, she leads ahead of Nancy Sharop. Eleanor Fulton is back in third, and then it is number 8, which is Taylor Werner, the American. She's an athlete we haven't yet mentioned, but she'll be one to watch. And Verity Ockenden of Britain there, the on-running in that on-running strip, she's back in 5th at the moment. This is the class of this field on paper. Sophia Sullivan hasn't yet been in her best form this year, but she's improving race to race. She's about 30 metres back at the moment. She's about back in 7th. This would be out of her comfort zone as a 1500 metre specialist with an 800 metre background. So Sophia Sullivan be looking to hang in and try and break 9 minutes here, but we'll concentrate on the race up front because 5 athletes have broken away. And they are our pacemaker Michelle Finn, Nancy Sharop of Kenya, Eleanor Fulton of USA, Taylor Werner of USA, and Verity Ockenden of Britain.
Yeah, nice clearance there from Manny Osas in the high jump as well at 190 on his second attempt. And we see Rhys Adamola, hometown favourite, lining up on the long jump runway. Let's see what he can do in his next round of effort. Men's shot put just still getting that circle warmed up. Man in his t-shirt getting ready for his next round effort, but Adamola gets the crowd going here. What can he produce here in the 4th round, I think, in the men's long jump? Round 3, in fact. And Adamola storms down. Looks like a clean jump. Let's have a look at the board on the infield. Looks quite big from my gauge of the markings along the side of the pit. I think that could be up towards the 750 mark. And he gets the white flag. That's the most important part as the measurement is taken, and back towards that men's high jump.
And they're coming up to 2 kilometres here in the women's 3000 metres, and the pace is up to 5:47, so they're going to smash the 9-minute barrier here. They might even challenge the 8:40 barrier, and it is Nancy Sharop, the Kenyan, leads 2 Americans. They are Taylor Werner in second and Eleanor Fulton in third, and then it is the Briton Verity Ockenden back in 4th. So Nancy Sharop has kept this pace on us, and she's doing the athletes behind her a big favour here. Nancy Sharop is an 8:52 athlete at her best, but she's going to smash that. She's on course to smash it anyway with 800 metres to run. Back in second, Taylor Werner, a very talented athlete. She's dropping down to 1500 metres recently. She's kind of a background at 5k and 10k. She was a Pan American Games 5,000 metre silver medalist last year, graduated at the University of Arkansas, and there's an Irish connection there too for Taylor Werner because she is under the guidance of coach Alistair Craig, the former national record holder at 5,000 metres and indeed at 10,000 metres. I think he still has that national record if I'm not mistaken, and he is coaching the Puma Elite group in North Carolina. So sending one of his troops here to Cork, and Alistair Craig was no stranger to Cork City Sports back in the day either. Taylor Werner in second place there, the American, who looks to be back to her best form and looks to be on track to perhaps smash her personal best of 8:51 with 600 metres to run.
That was Shane Howard on the long jump runway there. Just looks like a jump of around 720-ish. And Rhys Adamola, that previous round effort call, 771 straight into the lead. He takes it. Shane Howard on his third attempt, 725. So I've confirmed my calibration in the commentary box here is whatever I can see, add about 20 centimetres to it, and that's about accurate. So
who needs lasers? We have that measurement. But Taylor Werner goes to the front with 4:50 to run. What does Nancy Sharop have to respond with? Verity Ockenden now overtakes Eleanor Fulton. She's up into third, the on-running athlete. Great to see Verity Ockenden running them so well. 15:10 she ran in Vienna last month for 5,000 metres. She is strong, Verity Ockenden, looking for her closing in this last 300 metres. But Taylor Werner is pushing things along with 300 metres to run. 7:54 on the clock. All these 4 women are on for personal best, which is no mean feat in the cool, windy conditions here at Cork City Sports. And Taylor Werner well on her way here. As I said, a background at 5,000 metres, 10,000 metres. She's run a 5,000 metre personal best last year of 15:03. She is very strong, but she's run a couple of 4:12 1500s. She's pretty fast as well as Taylor Werner, and she's going to need to be fast and strong over this last 150 because Verity Okkanen of Britain is trying to close her down. And Okkanen has speed herself. She's a 15:10 athlete last month, and she has strength. Can Okkanen run down Werner? It looks like Werner might just hold on, but Okkanen is closing just with every stride. But Werner is strong. Took this race on in the penultimate lap, and America's Taylor Werner runs to victory in a personal best of 8:43. It is also a personal best, I think, in second for Verity Okkanen. 8:46 was her previous best. Nancy Sharop of Kenya, she's got a personal best as well in third. And coming through in fourth, that is number 10, which is Julia van Veldhoven of the Netherlands. Just about dips under 9 minutes. Sophia Sullivan just coming up to the line now alongside Ireland's Ida McDonald. Very close for them, around 9:08, 9:10 on the clock for the two Irish women as they come across. Brilliant race there. Once again, we see the national cross-country champion there, Fiona Everard, and Ireland's Annika Thompson as well, who's run at the European cross-country, and Claire Fagan of Mullingar coming across the line there, all Irish internationals. They're well behind today, but we'll be sure be seeing them in Irish vests before too long again. But a brilliant win there for Taylor Werner. Took it on in the penultimate lap. Great pacing job by Michelle Finn early on, and Nancy Sharop did her a big favour by keeping things honest in that second kilometre. But in the end, Taylor Werner had the speed and the strength to bring it home.
Absolutely brilliant running, as I said, in cool, windy conditions here in Cork. Taylor Werner, a Cork ETB 3,000 metre champion here at the Cork City Sports for 2024. Big PB, and Colin Burke there just into the pit in the long jump. We can tell you that Jason Smith made an attempt to respond to Rhys Ademola, but just out to 760, so not quite back into his lead. 771, Ademola still holds that lead on that one, and Burke will wait to see what his result is. As we see another big throw on that men's shot put. As I said, results.munsterathletics.com to keep an eye on those field events results as they live update. See back on the long jump runway, I think that is the Chechen today's Prochaska. Sorry, that's the shot put. He won't be in that one. That was in fact
that is Alessandro Schianini.
It is indeed,
of Britain. Yeah, I remember him from the last jump. He's an 8-metre jumper at his best, but he was disgusted with himself in the third round. He responded with a 7:07, but he has still lots of work to do. And it is, as I mentioned, it is cool, but it's good jumping conditions. Those jumpers have a tailwind behind them, but that, of course, can cause its own issues with hitting your mark right. But we'll see what Schianini can produce here.
We kind of have a spattering of failures across, but everyone has a couple of clean jumps in. So if you can get the right wind here, maybe he can nail it. So let's keep an eye on Sashini. Keep a look at the flags. He's still not too enthused by that one. He kind of lethargically gets out of the pit, gets the white flag from David Murphy there, the official. It will get measured. And let me just use my laser eye here. I think that's going to be around 7:18, Cathal.
I trust you, Ger, more than I trust those lasers.
Absolutely. Let's see what I come up with. And we're going to pop down trackside to Trevor.
Sophie, what was that like to run in here at the 70 Cork City Sports tonight?
Yeah, it's always good to run at home. Or in Cork, it's like one you definitely circle on the calendar and you want to run well at. Yeah, so it was really fun.
Top class field, wasn't it?
Yeah, all the girls are great. It's, you know, one of them, if you're running in Cork, you want to run well. So a little bit disappointing to not run as well as I can, but yeah, it's alright.
There's no 1500 metres, so hence you ran into 3000, but still good preparation for you for a few weeks' time.
Yeah, it's just all building, I guess, and you know, it's all good training, so you know, you're only getting better, so it's a great little, you know, help with that. So yeah.
Just put into context for you personally to go to your first Olympics in Paris in a few weeks.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I'm super excited to go. Yeah, I guess is One of those things that happens quickly. So yeah, not really sure how to feel about that one, but yeah, no, excited to go there.
Mama's here tonight. We'll get a chance to talk to her after. I know she made her way over to before the race, so give you some advice maybe.
I don't know. I just kind of want to come check where the wind was, to be honest. I guess I didn't really need to know because I wasn't using much wind there. Yeah.
And just finally, Sophie, a word in the crowd here tonight. It's a fantastic atmosphere, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's super. Like so many people. Yeah, like it's always great coming here. But the last time I was here, I think it was 2018, so like 5-6 years ago, and it's definitely it's gotten way more people and more traction, and just keep building. So it's really exciting to watch and be a part of. Yeah.
So just to find the one that preparations on track then for Paris.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Happy to be here. Cheers.
Thanks, Sophie. Well done.
You'll always get honesty from Sophie O'Sullivan. I think when Trevor asked her preparations on peg, she went, yeah. But obviously 3,000 metres very much out of Sophie's comfort zone, and a great win recently at the National Championship. She is on her way back to fitness.
Sam Healy there on the long jump runway. He is in 4th place at the minute with 7:39. His best, that previous jump from Shaney of Great Britain, was 7:15. Cahill, I was 3 centimetres out of my prediction, unfortunately, so I need to recalibrate for the next one. But
yeah, you're way off, Ger.
Sam Healy, can he pull something out of the bag here to get up into 3rd? He's going to need 7:49. His clubmate Shane Howard has that at the moment from Jason Smith in 2nd, and Reese Adamola holds that lead with 7:71. You can see him there towering over Sam Healy behind him, his clubmate, and Healy just runs through this one. He just holds his hands up to the heavens to say, come on man, get with it. We've got one more attempt, Sam, to get yourself into those podium positions. This is round 5 and we're just 3 men through, and the race 1 of the women's 100 metre hurdle sponsored by Athletics Ireland is up next on track. Linda Bishop, Teresa Elena Sinova of Czechia, Alicia Barrett, Marley Jessup, Molly Scott and Arabella Adekoya will line up in this one. 6 athletes towing the line for race 1.
And I'm delighted to say that Trevor is with one of the legends of Irish athletics, none other than Cork's very own Sonia O'Sullivan.
Sonia, great to see you here and for the 70th Cork City Sports tonight, and a brand new track. What are your impressions?
Yeah, no, it's great to be here tonight, and a really great crowd out tonight, which is always good, you know, and track seems to be running fast at the moment, so good to see that.
Yeah, great to see. Like, we have 6 Irish Olympians here tonight, 3 of them from Cork, which is fabulous. Great year for Irish athletics, isn't it?
It has. It's been fantastic, you know, from the European Championships, the World Relays, and now heading into the Olympics. We've had some really great performances, so yeah, excited to get to the Olympics. Still a few weeks to go. Still probably a bit of work to do for some athletes, but yeah, it's exciting times.
And closer to home, of course, this time, Sonia, because the last one was COVID, wasn't it? There was nobody in the stadium, so this is going to be great. It's closer to home in France.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are looking forward to going to the Olympics and having a real Olympics again, you know, where you can have all the fans and the friends and the family, everybody, you know, attending, and yeah, and to be in Europe, you know, it's always great when you have the major championship in Europe, and have the Olympic Games here is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
And perhaps a realistic chance of bringing home a medal or 2.
I hope so, yeah. I mean, we've definitely had some great performances with the medals from the European Championships, and you know, a lot of athletes are competing with the world's best at the moment, so yeah, there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. Just finally, Sophie was running here tonight, not her own distance of 1,500 metres, because that wasn't on the cards tonight, but fair play for going in the 3,000 there, continuing her own preparations.
Yeah, it looked like it was a bit long for her tonight. Definitely 1 lap too long, but yeah, she's still, you know, preparing, you know, focus on the Olympics and 1,500 metres. So yeah, hopefully she'll get a good run in Dublin on Friday night, and you know, get her a bit of confidence and stuff back again, and look forward to Paris.
Great to see you tonight, Sonia. Thank you. Thanks,
Great to hear from Sonia O'Sullivan, a legend of Irish athletics, Olympic medalist, world champion, double world cross country champion. And it's great to see one of her best friends in the sport there in the infield as well, Frank O'Mara, 2-time world indoor champion, and like Taylor Werner, the winner in our last race, a student of the University of Arkansas, and I saw them down there having a chat as well. A Limerick man.
On the race 1 of the women's 100 metre hurdles has just been called to the marks. We might get a look at finally before we take off. We'll have Linda Bishel, Teresa Elena Sinova, Alicia Barrett, Marley Jessup, Molly Scott and Arabella Adekoya. Molly Scott, silver at the Irish National Championships last week, as was Teresa Elena Sinova at the Czechia version. What can we do here? We saw Scott out very, very fast in that women's 100 metres earlier. Let's keep an eye on this one. And we are away cleanly, and Scott there in that pink vest is away quite well, and Barrett in the middle going well, as is Marley Jessup there. Marley Jessup probably coming away in the lead here. There's hurdles clattering all around, but Marley Jessup is away and clear. She's got a metre lead so far. Can she hold on the inside? It's going to be very, very tight. Barrett with a brilliant, brilliant finish, but I think Jessup just held on from Barrett and Linda Bishel there on the inside. So brilliant, brilliant run there from Marley Jessup. 13:30 her best. That was 13:41 on the clock, and it looks like a legal wind. There's just a hurdle obscuring me at the moment. I think it is a 0.7. It certainly feels quite calm here. Yes, it is 13:42 for Marley Jessup. She held on for that victory. She had a metre clear with a hurdle or two to go, but Barrett closing an absolute train. Barrett, are very experienced athlete, a finalist at the Commonwealth Games in the past, and has competed at the World Championships back in London 2017. And we just get a look at that replay here again, because it was a really, really interesting run in off that last hurdle, especially Linda Bishel got the third spot in 13:51, and it was indeed Marley Jessup from hurdle 1 onwards. You can see all the work that Barrett had to do here. You know, she closed that down to 200ths of a second in the end, but the winner held on in style. Marley Jessup from the gun takes that Athletics Ireland race 1 100 metre hurdles.
Yeah, great way to warm up for the race that's to come, which will feature even faster athletes, a slew of sub 13 second women. As you see there, the distance that Barrett came back for there was astonishing.
Yeah, hurdle 1 was the end of Teresa Elena Sinova's race. Unfortunately, he clipped that straight away, and then by hurdle 4 there was no go anymore. But to see a bit of a big wobble off the last hurdle there from Jessup, but held on enough to get herself that win in race 1 of the women's hurdles.
Yeah, next up on track, as I mentioned, will be the A race, we can call it, with the likes of Sarah Lavin taking on an international field that includes Ebony Morrison of Liberia and Tally Bonds, 12.6, 12.7 women.
David Cusson goes easily clear, 2:05. He's a 2:16 man at his best. 2:05 proving no hard feat for him this evening, so goes clear quite easily. And as I said, 0.7 metres per second on the wind gauge there, so it's certainly becoming much more favourable for the athletes in the field events. Maybe the athletes on the hurdles would like a little bit more tailwind, but that can be a havoc as well, or a hazard rather, in the hurdles events especially. But as you said, Carl, we do have Sarah Lavin, that national champion, national record holder, former national 100 metre record holder as well, as of until last week. But she goes up against a stellar international field here. We've seen Ebony Morrison run a very fast 100 metres earlier, not very long ago at all. Jessica Hunter in that 100 metres also. Meta Gravisgard has been into European indoor finals alongside Sarah Lavin in the past, just trying to find her form again. Won't be going to Paris, unfortunately, in the hurdles. And Conor Penny just with a failure in that men's high jump for the 15-year-old. But that women's 100 metre hurdles is going to be something special. We've seen Sarah Lavin finish in second 2 years ago at this event. She was leading, or well up in the lead, until a hurdle or two to go. But let's see what she can do here this evening. She's come along even more from then, even though she was already in fantastic form.
We're into the final round of the men's long jump, and that was Alessandro Scanini of Great Britain. He is down in 6th place, so everyone's on their final jumps now. I can tell you that Rhys Ademola, the home favourite, is hanging on with that brilliant 771 in the 4th round. He leads ahead of USA's Jason Smith, who has graduated to 760, as Ger mentioned, in that 4th round. And then back in 3rd, it's Shane Howard, another Cork jumper, brilliant Cork jumper. 749, his opening effort, still his best. But 11 centimetres, or only 22 centimetres to choose between our top 3. It's Ireland out front, USA 2nd, and Ireland back in 3rd as we're coming down the stretch in the men's long jump. And this, in the top left of your screen, is Belgium's Yannis Samson. He's down in 5th at the moment with a best of 7:22. And we'll make sure the women's 100 metre hurdlers are just behind their blocks. As soon as they're, we'll try and get over to them. We'll get you a look, and we'll be focusing on that.
And you see the Belgian here in the long jump.
Yeah, Yanni Sampson.
Sampson, he gets a red flag. He is head and hands, unfortunately, for that one. So that's the end of his competition as we see these 100 metre hurdlers in race 2. The Athletics Ireland women's 100 metre hurdles. Meta Gravasgard, Tally Bonds, Sarah Lavin, Emily Morrison, Isabel Wakefield, Milika Amini and Jessica Hunter. Talia Bonds there as well, a really interesting athlete from the USA. Final of those US trials last week, or 2 weeks ago at this stage, 12.65 at her best. Sarah Lavin is the fastest in the field on personal best. She's going to need to get away well here and carry that home. She always finishes strong. Hurdle 2 was her comeuppance at the European Championships after a blistering start. But let's see, can she hold on for a win here on home turf. Let's keep an eye on the fastest athletes in 3, 4 and 5. And now we are away. Let's keep an eye on Sarah Lavin here, the home favourite. It's a very, very good start from Ebony Morrison. She was fast in the 100 metres earlier, but Lavin is coming through well now. Bonds has got a lot of work to do to catch up, but it is Lavin away and clear. Can she hold on through the last hurdle? And she's going to take the win. 12.85. Big celebrations on the inside of the infield of the local fans here. Just holds off the American and the Liberian, Bonds and Morrison. Brilliant win for Sarah Lavin. 12.85 plus 1.8 metres per second on the clock. 12.83 it's corrected to from Tally Bonds. 12.95 sub 13 as well, and another one sub 13 is Ebony Morrison with 12.99. Met Gravasgard 13.15. I think that's going to be a big season's best for her. It's coming a little bit too late, but when you're battling back from injuries, any improvement is positive news. And Isabel Wakefield 13.27, Jessica Hunter 31, and Melissa Amini with 13.53. So we can see here it's very, very tight from those 3 athletes, those 3 fastest athletes in the field. Morrison was way very, very fast. She is a very strong 100 metre runner, as we've seen earlier today, but the class of the field, Sarah Lavin in that second half just pulled away from Tally Bonds and Ebony Morrison. Morrison, that little bit of fatigue in the legs perhaps from the 100 metres earlier. This head-on shot will show us a little bit more for this first hurdle. Lavin there right in the middle there in the blonde hair. Bonds to her right on this screen there. 3 of them were kind of rising similarly. Morrison possibly had the lead for those first 2-3 hurdles, but the composure, the strength, the technique of Lavin just carrying her home and away and clear.
That is Sarah Lavin's 11th race of the season outdoors, and every single one of them has been 12.6, 12.7, 12.8, and the slowest of them was 12.94. Remarkable consistency from the Emerald AC athlete, and I would imagine that national record of 12.62 is living on borrowed time. But back to the long jump, because it's the local lad, the rising star of Irish long jumping, Rhys Adamola. He still leads with that 7.71, but Jason Smith, the American rival, will be eyeing it up. What can Adamola do? It doesn't look like. I think his feet just dragged a little there in the landing, but he's happy with it. He looks very happy with it. But is it the competition overall? I think he's celebrating because he may well have done enough with that 7.71 in the 4th round, Rhys Adamola. But as I mentioned, Jason Smith, the Californian, is a 8+ metre jumper. So he will have eyes on usurping that 7.71 by Rhys Adamola in this 6th and final round.
7.60 I think that's showing up as for Adamola there, and the most important thing is that he's finishing the competition healthy. That's been his issue all year, not being able to put a string of competitions together. As any athlete in any event knows, that bit of consistency is the main thing for knocking out your biggest marks. So Rhys, obviously a fantastic athlete, and just needs to try and keep himself healthy now more often, and he'll get that 8 metre jump and well beyond. Just in a brief look at the result of that one, there are still, or the current standings, there are still jumpers to go.
Yeah,
so we just see the podium here for that women's hurdles. Tally Bonds, Ebony Morrison, and a huge roar for Sarah Lavin, getting her gold medal, as I say. A unique aspect of the Cork City Sports here. John Cronin, the president of Athletics Ireland, presenting that medal, the sponsors of those hurdles races, and a very, very popular home favourite is Sarah Lavin.
Yeah, you will go a long time. Look at that. Look at the reception. It is ongoing, that round of applause and those cheers. I was going to say, you will go a long way before you find a more liked and loved athlete in Irish athletics than Sarah Lavin, who is a class act on the track, off the track, with the fans, with the media, and everyone will be wishing her well on the path to the Paris Olympics next month.
This is Shane Howard just taking his final attempt. Just keep an eye on the screen.
He's
here
in
to see, do we get a
3rd place at the moment, looking for 7.60. He's on 7.49, his best so far. Needs 7.60, and he's got it. 7.70 for Shane Howard. Moves him up into second place, overtakes Jason Smith, demotes the American to third, and he's just 1 centimetre behind Rhys Ademola. He will have no further chance to improve. So that man on the top left of your shot, Jason Smith, the only man who can now usurp Rhys Ademola and his fellow Corkman Shane Howard at the top of the standings. He's done it before, has Jason Smith, as we see the men's 3,000 metres ready to roll there. But Jason Smith grew up in San Francisco, now living in SoCal, Southern California. He has one chance. He has soared well beyond 8 metres already this year. 8:13, his season's best in Chula Vista, where he also trains just outside Los Angeles. 25 years old, graduate of Long Beach State University. Jason Smith, 7:60 his best so far tonight. He needs 7:70 for second or 7:71 to join Rhys Ademola at the top of the standings. Can he produce it? Pressure jump.
Don't think that's going to be enough this evening. He gives a kind of dejected round of applause, but I don't think he's going to breach those top 2 spots again. Just 1 centimetre separating the 2 club mates, or rather the Bandon AC and the Leevale man, the 2 Cork men in this one. Shane Howard and Rhys Ademola. Jason Smith, a result of 7:42 for his final jump, so not quite enough. It's going to be 3rd position for the American on this case, man who's gone well clear of 8 metres in the past, but not today, and the champ is the local Rhys Ademola.
The champ is here, Rhys Ademola, and he'll have the bragging rights with his brother Alex this evening. But looking back on track to the men's 3,000 metres, and they are moving at lightning pace, specifically Nick Griggs, who has slotted in behind the pacemaker in that orange vest. The 19-year-old Irishman. There's just a slight gap then further back. It looks to be number 20. That is Olin Hacker of the United States, who is probably the favourite, I would have to say, for this race, who ran a 13:08 5,000 metres indoors this year, the 2022 NCAA champion. He slots in there in 3rd in that Northern Arizona University singlet. But Nick Griggs, the Irishman, he could be going after Dara McElhinney's Irish under-23 record here. That stands at 7:20.86. Griggs has been coming all the way up, breaking a lot of McElhinney's records, but McElhinney has a chance to defend his home track here. He was brilliant 2 years ago. He slots in there behind Nick Griggs, back in 5th place. It has not been a good season this year for Dara McElhinney by his own lofty standards, but he's coming back into a bit of form late. A few health problems earlier on in the summer just cost him his shot at going for the Paris Olympics, but in that black vest, back in 5th at the moment. And we see a couple of the athletes from Kenya, that is Amos Langat and Matthew Kipruto, the Essex athletes, moving up on the outside, getting involved here as they pass 1 kilometre. And this is blazing, 2:33 on the clock. We're on for sub 7:40 at the moment.
Absolutely, Juan Ignacio Pena there of the Dublin Track Club, just leading this one very, very well indeed. And you can see when you're down track side just how fast these men are moving. Sometimes on the screen it doesn't look quite as swift, but you can see by how strung out the field already are after just nearly 3 minutes of racing, how fast this race is taking off. So as you said, Griggs just slotting in there behind the pacemaker. He's a man that's coming back into good form and health as well. He's had an up and down season himself, trying to battle towards that 1,500 metre spot at the Olympics, but just outside that. And we're going to just cut down trackside very quickly in the meantime with Sarah Lavin, the winner of the women's 100 metre hurdles.
Well, Sarah, congratulations. That was pretty fast on the new track here.
Yeah, it was great to arrive down on the surface. It's brand new, and the crowd here that's here tonight. When my name got called out, I was like, "Oh, Sarah, you have to win this one tonight." So yeah, brilliant. It's brilliant to have this just down the road now from home.
Another sub 13 for you, and it was pretty quick, wasn't it? And in stiff competition as well.
Yeah, that was. I think that's what I kind of will take from it. I would have liked to maybe go a little bit quicker, but I guess going in with the other girls, there's very little between us on paper, so to be 0.1 over 0.1 and get the win is relatively cool enough tonight, but the wind was in the right direction, so yeah.
Described there after the race as the most loyal and popular athlete in Ireland. Kind words, and the crowd certainly took to you tonight as well again.
Oh, I didn't pay them, I promise. But that's really, yeah, I don't know. I need to find out who said that. I bet you there's a bias there. But no, it's so nice to compete at home obviously I'm really in a thick training block at the moment because we're 1 month to go to get that peak. But to be able to practice a few things under pressure was a wonderful opportunity to do, obviously in front of a home crowd.
Just explain to us what it means to you personally to be, on the verge of your first ever Olympic Games in a few weeks in Paris.
Second Olympics, but I guess this one time round Tokyo had no crowd, so to have family and friends travelling over, it's the journey you're on with everybody, and it's as much off the track and on the track, and everyone knows what you put into it, and to get to share that moment with them on the biggest sporting stage in the world.
Preparations right on track, yeah?
Yeah. All good. Thank you.
Fantastic to hear from Sarah Lavin there. As I said, a real fan favourite, someone who shows up all times and shows out, and had a fantastic performance there on the new track here to win, as she said, comprehensively in that women's hurdles against athletes of a very, very similar standard to her. So fantastic preparation for her in the middle of a heavy block of training and ready for Paris.
Yeah, out front here we hit 2k in about 5:10, so they're on for about 7:45, but rest assured these men will kick it in hard from here. That is Amos Langat of Kenya out front. The favourite, the race favourite, the most accomplished athlete in the race is Olin Hacker. He is on the shoulder of the leader right now. Remember, a 13:08 indoors, 10th at the US trials recently over 5,000 metres. He was 5th at the World Indoors in Glasgow earlier this year. But look back, just behind Olin Hacker, looming into contention ominously on the outside is Darragh McElhinney. He was brilliant here 2 years ago. He hasn't been in the best form so far this year, but he is rounding back into shape as Darragh McElhinney, and he had an impressive run over 1,500 metres at the Nationals recently to win bronze. Moving up on the outside there, that is Ahmed Mohammed, also of Northern Arizona University. As we see McElhinney just tangle legs there with Langat, but he stays on his feet. Nick Griggs, Darragh McElhinney now fading back through the group, and Nick Griggs still running very strongly. He could well have the Irish under-23 record if he runs a strong last lap.
Yeah, just a bit of a mix-up of legs there, unfortunately, for Darragh McElhinney. It seems to have zapped the energy from him as we come in towards that bell call, and Olin Hacker is streaking away here, the man of Hoka, Northern Arizona, his training partner back in 3rd place, but it's certainly not all over yet.
Yeah, it is Hacker. He looks to have gone for home with 400 metres to run. He has turned the screw on this field. Also coming through there in that blue singlet, that is Casey Neville-Bard of the United States of America. He has run a very patient race, and Nick Griggs is following him into contention. But up front it is Olin Hacker leads Amos Langat, and then it is Neville-Bard back in 3rd, Nick Griggs, and then it is Ahmed Mohammed as well back in 5th. But he's gone for home, Olin Hacker. He ran so bravely. He ran just like this at the World Indoor Championships over 3,000 metres, putting the field to the sword with about 2 or 3 laps to run. Here he waited until the last lap, and Olin Hacker is away and gone. It is Neville-Bard in 2nd, Langat back in 3rd, and look at Nick Griggs with a huge finish. He might get 2nd, but no doubt about the winner. Olin Hacker, majestic, 7:40 on the clock. Casey Neville-Bard takes 2nd. He's about 7:41, and Nick Griggs, I think, may have just broken Darragh McElhinney's Irish under-23 record of 7:42.86. He's been breaking them at junior level, and now he's up into the under-23 category, and it looks like Griggs has taken another all-time mark for Ireland.
Yeah, fantastic running there from Olin Hacker. As you said, we've seen him do it indoors, and he showed his class there. The field just held on, didn't let anybody by, and then ripped them apart in that last 100-200 metres. So fantastic performance. 7:40.50 on the clock, and I could safely say Nick Griggs has taken down that record of McElhinney, who unfortunately got clipped, as I said, with about 500 metres to go, and just that really drained the legs from him, and trailed in there in about 8 minutes. But certainly no doubt about the class at the front of the field there on that one. The man from Hoka, Northern Arizona, Olin Hacker.
Yeah, the hair proving no wind resistance whatsoever there on a breezy evening here at MTU. Olin Hacker, again, I'd say he had a few issues after his indoor season. He didn't quite reproduce the magic outdoors the way he was running back in February and March, but as you can see, he is in fantastic shape. 10th recently at those US trials over 5,000 metres, and plenty to look forward to as we see there. This is 500 metres to run there, 6:30 on the clock, and this is when he started applying pressure. It was our Kenyan Amos Langat of the Essex Chojo camp. He was up front, and then it was the Northern Arizona University teammate Ahmed Mohammed there back in 3rd. But you see here, I think he moved to the front, but he didn't really kick it in hard. And now I think that bell and the cheer from the crowd just lifted Olin Hacker. And he said, see you later, guys. I'll cool down with you, but I'm not running this last lap anywhere near you. Goodbye, good night, good luck.
Yeah, you can see Griggs was back in like 5th or 6th there at the bell. Still in 5th here, 300 metres to go. But when he's on, he's on. And that big sprint finish certainly did the business.
And it is, I can confirm, an Irish under-23 record. Nick Griggs at the age of 19 is the fastest Irish under-23 in history over 3,000 metres. 7:41.68 for 3rd place. A bronze medal and another brilliant run of a young man from Tyrone.
You can see Olin Hacker there, 120 to go. And behind him just trading places, but no doubt about the champion out front. Olin Hacker at 7:40.49 on the clock. Streaking home Casey Neville-Bard and Nick Griggs. Women's 800 metres are up on track next, the Cork City Council 800 metres. So just see those top 3 men waiting for their podium medals. We have got Sam Freiberg, Jordy Hartkin, Maeve O'Neill, Sharna Swart, McKenna Keegan, Shannon Flockhart, Louise Shanahan, Lucia Panaccio. A few more to come in that one. Hannah Seagrave, Kimberly Finishette, Kendra Coleman Pace, and Ellie Leather. There is that confirmation of those results of that men's 3,000 metres, sponsored by John Buckley Sports here in Cork City. Olin Hacker, Casey Neville-Bard and Nick Griggs. Colin, I'm going to use my intuition here and say Kendra Coleman is the pacemaker rather than that being her double-barreled surname.
I think that is probably a fair bet. I'm sure we'll be seeing lots of these athletes in action at the Morton Games as well on Friday evening. If you're anywhere in the Dublin region, make sure to get there. It's a pity you couldn't come out tonight, I suppose, if you're watching on the live stream, although maybe there's a few people up in those stands tuned into us, Ger. I find it highly unlikely. Liam Morgan is on the MCing here in field. He's far better to listen to. But they're running through the opening 200 metres. There's our Twitter handles if you care to follow our nonsense. But they're running through the opening 200 metres, and it is Kendra Coleman who is out front, towing it along at an honest pace, about 27.5 or so. And then back in second, that is McKenna Keegan of the United States. She is one of the sub 2 minute women in this field. Look out too for Louise Shanahan, who is now just looking back, tucking back in the middle of the pack there, tucked in on the inside in that ASIC strip. The Irish woman is another woman who has run below 2 minutes. She has not made the Tokyo Olympics or the Paris Olympics this year, but she was a Tokyo Olympian. But at the moment it is McKenna Keegan in second, then it is number 8, that is Kimberly Fikenek back in third of the Czechia.
59.08 on the clock there, halfway call, so it's going to be swift. It's set up for a sub 2 minute clock and breezy. It's going to be down that back straight. They're going to be running into a headwind. We've seen up to +3s in the sprints, but they had dropped recently, so pacemaker doing a great job here. She's still holding on. She just start to fade and drop out now, and it is going to be McKenna Keegan who takes over that lead. And on the outside coming through is Hannah Seagrave of Great Britain. She's going to come into the lead here with 200 metres to go. How's it going to pay out?
Yeah, Seagrave has command. She looks to have timed her effort to perfection here. Overtakes Fikenek there with 200 to go, but Fikenek looks like she's got more in that white vest. The Czech runner looks like she's going to come back down this home straight. Another runner from the back, that's Sharna Swart of South Africa powering down the outside, and Louise Shanahan, the Cork runner, who always has a big kick. It'll be good enough for second tonight, not good enough for first, because that goes to Czechia's Kimberly Fikenek. 2:01.61. It's very close for second between Louise Shanahan and Sharna Swart of South Africa. They came in around 2:02.
And we just had a bit of a clash at 150 to go there in a faller, and that was Sam Freiberg of the United States. Unfortunately hit the deck, so finishes it out, gets her consolations from her racing partners as they assess the damage on her shins. But what a brilliant performance there out front. At 2:01.61 on the clock. Just see our
brilliant
champion
run
going around
by Kimberly Fikenek.
McKeegan going around congratulating everyone, making sure she shows her appreciation for her colleagues on the track, and she's on the infield getting a chat with Sonia O'Sullivan, none other at the moment.
As we see the start list for the men's 800 metres.
Bram Weigel, Abraham Alvarado, IRL van de Groot, Thomas Randolph, Alex Botterill, Angus Harrington, Killian Kerwin, Edmund Duplessis, Archie Davis, Josh Hoey, Shane Streak, Roland Surlis and Finley McClear.
As we see the presentation there to Olin Hacker of Northern Arizona Elite, NAZ Elite. I think I said Northern Arizona University during the race. He's very much not in university anymore. He's graduated from the world of NCAA into the pro levels. What a job Olin Hacker is doing. And that Irish under 23 record there in the Puma orange strip on the right for Nick Griggs. 19 years old and a whole lot of records to his name and one very bright future. But brilliant stuff, and brilliant to have Olin Hacker putting on a clinic there over that final 450. It's very much as cool as Flagstaff here in Cork tonight, even though we're at sea level.
Good Irish connection for that Arizona group after the previous results. Rhys Adamola, as we've seen, a brilliant performance, 771, and Shane Howard nearly stole it at the death. The second last jumper in the field went out to 770 on his final attempt, close to his personal best of 778. And Jason Smith 760 for third. As I said, Olin Hacker and his teammates there in Arizona being treated by physio John Fagan, and from time to time, former Irish 400 metre hurdler, and are looked after in the gym by Daniel Moore, based in Dublin, Irishman. Looks after that group, the Hoka group based out there. High jump results: David Cusson 211, Conor Penny 2 metres, and Emmanuel Osas in third, 195, similar to the result we saw at the Irish National Championships here on Sunday a week ago, or Saturday a week ago that was. As I said, fantastic jumping from all three there. Conor Penny 209 at 15 this year. David Cusson, the Irish leader, 216 at his best. Another look at page one of that start list for the Cork County Council 800 metres for men. You've got Bram Weigel, Netherlands, Alvarado of the United States, Van de Groot of Belgium, Randolph, Great Britain, Botterill, Great Britain, Killian Kerwin, silver at the Irish Championships. We've got Derek Holsworth of the USA, Edmund Duplessis of South Africa, Josh Hoey of the United States, Archie Davis, Great Britain, Shane Streak of the USA, Roland Surlis will pacemate, and Finley McClear of Great Britain. We've got a real stellar lineup here. We've a lot of men who've run sub 145, in particular the British men are 144s, but a whole host of 145s and a couple of 146s who hope to break into that new ground tonight here at the Cork City Sports from NTU University here in Cork. Just being held on their marks. Big field, 13 men, a lot of doubling up. The weather seems to have calmed a lot. The trees, you can see in the background, are nice and calm. Clouds are moving at less than 1,000,000 miles an hour as they were previously in the night, but it is winding up here, as we said, coming to a head. Field events have all finished up at this stage, I think, and we are track from now on in this men's 800 metre, the first of our last 7 events on track. It is flying by.
Yeah, lots to look forward to over the next hour, 50 minutes or so. That men's 1500, I know, or that men's mile, I have a middle distance bias, of course, because they're by far the best events in world athletics, as Gerard O'Donnell beside me knows. But yeah, looking forward to Cathal Doyle taking on past 2 NCAA champions later on, and the brilliant Sam Prekel as well. The men's 800 metres, a slew of 144, 145 and 146 men going to the line here. It's been breezy tonight and there is still a bit of wind gusting around, but it's not too bad. If anything, it's probably just a few degrees too cool. Certainly see some of the North American and Caribbean athletes are very much wearing the long tights and keeping their extra layers on until the very final moments this evening. But we're under starters orders for the men's 800 metres, and our pacemaker
Roland Surlis, cap on the outside. Yeah, he's going to rip this around. He's a 146 man in his own right at best, and he's under a bit of pressure here to get into the lead from the athletes inside him to take this one through.
Yeah, it looks like Josh Hoy there, I think it is, in that Adidas strip. It looks to be taking command here at the front, and Roland Surlis he's pretty much in an all-out sprint there to the bend to try and get to the front, and I think he's just about done it, but there's a bit of ricocheting around the pack there, and that's why, because they went out very fast, and Roland Surlis, it was way under 25 seconds at 200 metres there into the wind. As we run now, it's going to be a very quick opening 400 metres, and then it's going to be down to who pushes the pace along as the three Adidas athletes line up in behind him, and Roland Surlis says enough of that with 3:50 run.
Yeah, Josh Hoey there takes the lead after Surlis steps off the track, so the man, the full Adidas one piece, is taking the lead. De facto pacemaker there through the bow. Didn't quite catch the clock at 400 metres, but it is strung out and smooth. The first of the Irish is Killian Kerwin sitting in 5th place there with 300 metres to run. It's still Josh Hoey out front there, the man from the USA.
Yeah, and he's joined by Edmund Duplessis of South Africa and Thomas Randolph of Great Britain. These are your top three at the moment, and look out too for Derek Holdsworth of USA. He's back in 4th at the moment, but it is number 11 Josh Hoey just ahead there of Edmund Duplessis of South Africa and Thomas Randolph back in 3rd. Also a big run now from Abraham Alvarado. He is swinging wide. He could challenge over this last 100, but it is Josh Hoey turns for home out front. He has a 2 or 3 metre advantage over Edmund Duplessis, but Duplessis is kicking hard down the outside. It might be South Africa on top of Ireland once again. Edmund Duplessis kicks the victory, takes it ahead of Josh Hoey of USA, and then coming through strongly in a fall by the man in white. That's Derek Holdsworth of USA, I think, back in 3rd, but no doubt about the winner on Irish soil. The South Africans are rising to the top once again. Edmund Duplessis, a 144 man at his best, 145.43 tonight, edges Josh Hoey in a titanic home stretch tussle.
Yeah, fantastic performance there, really close. Battle down to the final stretch and hit the deck to make sure he got that win. He threw the shoulder across the line, took out an athlete in the process afterwards, but you can see the result coming up on clock on infield. It is Edmund Duplessis. I thought we were completely backwards there. The result has been flipped. It is Edmund Duplessis has that win in 145.40 from Josh Hoey 145.50. And Finlay McClear 145.84 for 3rd place.
Well done to Edmund Duplessis. He had that Adam Kishot, I think, started that with the right arm shoved out by the finish, takes it by a 1/10 of a second ahead of Josh Hoey. And Finlay McClear, great run from him back in 3rd.
Dramatic finish as always in those men's 800 metres, and certainly not sold short here for the crowd in Cork today. We see the presentation for the men's shot put, getting their medals. Biggest men in the field here in Cork today. I said all those results are on results.munsterathletics.com. If you want to keep an eye or check in on any results of people that you're tracking. The result of that one was Jesper Arbija 1997 for the win from Victor Peterson from Nick Palmer. This race one of the men's 200 metres, Sophie Mulcahy, Molly Daly, Anne-Marie Kivikas, who we saw on 100 metres earlier, Christy Edwards, Natalie Kozis-Kanikova, and Alana Ryan, who also ran the 100 metres earlier. And Christy Edwards will be part of Team Australia for the 4x1 going to the Paris Olympics. So exciting times. We've seen Christy perform here before and in the Morton Games in Dublin, and in fact in previous editions. But an athlete on new ground now, heading to the Olympics. See the women's 800 metre athletes being brought in towards the podium for their presentations. Louise Shannon, of course, there, as Cathal mentioned earlier, Tokyo Olympian, sub 2 minute athlete at her best, previous Irish record holder. And there is that result. Had to settle for second best today. McKenna Keegan, a real classy effort and a brilliant battle down the home straight. You see thousands of the second it took to separate Shanae Stewart from Louise Shannon in bronze and silver.
Yeah, and I think
they've been given a joint second position here, I think.
Oh wow, you don't see that every day.
Lazy officials, I think that's all that is.
Absolutely. And 3rd place is sadly empty. That'll make for an unusual photo. But anyway, it's great to see Louise Shanahan back running so well. I talked to her in Rome at the European Championship. She did not have a good run. Let's call a spade out there. Went out in the heat, 2:04. And, you know, she's changed it up this year. She's coached by Mark Kirk up in Belfast. And she just said she's actually training very well, but it just wasn't coming together, whatever it was in the races. But in recent weeks, it has been starting to come together once again for the classy Louise Shanahan with a 2:01 recently over in Belgium. 2:02 tonight, and contending there with a number of 1:59 and 2 flat women. She looks to be coming back into form. Won't be in Paris this year, but there'll be many more championships ahead for Lee Vale's Louise Shanahan.
Yeah, see that trademark finish from her today. It's great to see her back sharp down that finishing straight, as she always has when she's at her best, and gets that joint silver medal tonight here at the Cork City Sports. Reminiscent of the African Championship shot put, where the only person to show up was the winner from Nigeria, and the rest of the lads said, I've had enough, going home.
Those are the competitions I dream of, George.
Absolutely.
Most of my gold medals are accounted for by that.
Your gold medals come when nobody shows up in the first place for the start line.
That was my point.
Just hammer it home.
Confirmation, Edmund Duplessis, South Africa, takes victory. Held his form brilliantly. Showed all his speed and strength to beat Josh Hoy to the line.
And we have race 1 of the women's 200 metres from Cork Airport are called to their marks by the starter. We've got Cork's own Sophie Mulcahy in lane 3 of Lee Vale AC. Molly Daly, exciting 16-year-old from Kenny City Harriers, 24-4 already this year as a 16-year-old. Anne-Marie Kivikas goes in lane 5. Kirsty Edwards in 6. Natalie Kozis-Kanakova in 7. Lana Ryan in lane 8. And we are cleanly away this time. It looks like Kirsty Edwards' lane might be empty, although she is there. Sorry, there's an empty lane of lane 4, but Edwards there in lane 6 is flying in the white vest there for Australia. She is the fastest in the field on paper, 23.17. And into the home straight, she looks to have a couple of metres of a lead. Kozis-Kanakova trying to come back at her. Molly Daly there on the inside, the young Kilkenny City Harrier, having a good run, as is Alana Ryan. But there's going to be no doubt about the winner. It's going to be Kirsty Edwards, 23.61 on the clock from Kozis-Kanakova of Czechia. The wind is legal, plus 1.7. 23.61 is what's showing up for Kirsty Edwards of Australia. Takes the Cork Airport 200 metres race 1. Race 2 to come up very, very soon. It's corrected to 23.60. And in second it was 23.95 from Kozakova. Alana Ryan, 24.44. Great run there for her. And Molly Daly, 24.53. So not far from her personal best, as we will cut down trackside to just see the athletes getting down to track.
Louise, a storming finish by you there. What was it like? Summing up for us.
I mean, to be racing here at the Cork City Sports is the dream. I think I first came to this race when I was 6 months old. I was in a carry tot at the back of the stands. I've been a basket girl at this race. I won the junior race when I was a kid. I paced the senior race before, but I've actually never ever raced the senior race. COVID, the track, everything have got in the way. So to make it to the senior race today is a dream's come true. And yeah, I mean, I'd have loved to win, but the next best thing is finishing second. So
brand new track as well. How did it race for you?
Yeah, to be honest, the race was fantastic. I think it was funny the entire way round. I could just hear people cheering, and not just cheering, but cheering for me. So yeah, the support was was incredible the whole way around, and it definitely made the race feel an awful lot shorter. And yeah, to come back up this home straight with, I mean, the crowd was so full. Yeah, it was incredible, a wonderful meet.
Well done, Louise.
Thank you.
There is the crowd. There's supporters who are cheering Louise Shanahan in that 2-lap tango around the new track at MTU. Brilliant to see the stands packed to capacity here, and a very reasonable ticket price as well, €15 for adults, €10 I think it was for students and OAPs, and under 16s allowed in free. Brilliant job the hosts do here at the 70th edition of the Cork City Sports.
So we said getting his praise from the officials. Champion on that men's long jump. His fellow Cork man at Bandon, Shane Howard, taking second, and Jason Smith, Chula Vista, California, in third place.
A long way from Chula Vista now. Not exactly SoCal weather here, Ger.
not quite.
There's a bit of drizzle falling, but it's not a bad night in fairness, and I think we will undoubtedly see the 4-minute barrier smashed. Might not have as much significance as it once had, but it still means a lot to a lot of people. Who knows how quick they can go. Certainly under 3:55 is very likely, and they even approach the 3:50 barrier. There's some serious talent in that men's mile to finish at 9:10 p.m.
More so cold than SoCal, but athletes making do. He made me wait for that one as well. I was lining it up there for 30 seconds.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Absolutely. We see the women's 200 metre race 2 getting their blocks ready. We'll see some serious international athletes in this one, as well as top Irish talent in Sophie Becker and Phil Healy. As we said, both medalists at the recent European Championships on that women's 4x4 team, and members of the mixed team as well, who took gold at the same championships and qualified both teams out in Bahamas at the World Relays. But they're going to be up against it here tonight. The likes of Talitha Diggs in this one, 22:45 at her best, a sub 50-second 400 metre runner, an 11:0 100 metre runner, a really top class talent, somebody who would have done battle with the likes of Rashida Adeleke through the NCAA system in the United States over the last number of years as well. So a real world class athlete who was competing, got a gold medal for herself 2 years ago at the age of 19 as part of the women's 4x4, as we pan back down to Trevor with the long jump champion Rhys Adamola.
Rhys, to come out on top in front of your home crowd here tonight is extra special, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like, the crowd is behind every single jump. No, it's just a special moment. Again, Cork City Sports is always going to have a place in my heart. I'm always going to jump here. It's great. It's unbelievable.
You're getting closer and closer to the dream, improving all the time. That's I suppose the key, is it?
That's the goal. Yeah, it's been slow. It's been slow since the indoors, but yeah, no, I'm happy to finish off my season here at Cork City Sports. Yeah, no, just delighted.
Sum up the air for us, for you.
So the indoors, I jumped to 786 in my first run out in Denmark, and then in the national 782, and then 793 out in Ostrava. So I'm pretty happy with the 771 to end off the season again. Yeah, I'm delighted.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well done.
Yeah, great to hear from Rhys there. The local man, as he said, it's always a pleasure to jump here in his home county, his home meet. As we see that line up for that women's 200 metre race 2 coming right up. Renee Regis, we seen, got third in that women's 100 metres earlier. Shane Vermeulen in the lane outside her. Phil Healy, the former Irish 100 metre and 200 metre national champion, or national record holder rather, and champion. Tori Lewis, the Australian talent teenager, she's going to be one to contend with here as well. She's off to the Olympics on that relay team too. Sophie Becker, the 400 metre specialist. Talitha Diggs, who is an all-rounder and has gone fast over all distances in the sprints 1, 2 and 4, and Lauren Rain James on the outside, also a fantastic 200 metre athlete, 22:51 at her best. So those athletes, especially out in lane 7 and 8, are going to be real contenders, as well as Tori Lewis in lane 5. What can the Irish girls do to stick with them? There are the results of race 1. As we said, Christy Edwards 23:60, a comprehensive winner there from Natalie Kozis-Kanakova, 23:95, and Alana Ryan, best of the Irish there, 23:44. Molly Daly, 16-year-old there, 24:53, and young Sophie Mulcahy of Leevale AC here in Cork in 5th. So the women's race 2 of the 200 metres are just waiting behind their blocks for starters' orders. As we said, Irish interest in this one in lanes 4 and 6 with our 200 400 specialists of Phil Healy and Sophie Becker. And there we have a good shot across the field. So we're starting from lane 3. There's no sign of Renee Regis there. She's obviously happy enough with her day's work after that 200 metres or 100 metres third place earlier this evening. So from the inside we'll be starting with Shane Vermeulen, Phil Healy, Tori Lewis, the Australian, Sophie Becker in lane 6, Talitha Diggs in 7, and Lauren Rain James in lane 8. Becker will get out fast, as will Phil Healy, but the girls outside them are real sprint specialists here of the short distances. So how is this one going to pan out? The weather is looking a little bit calmer now. The trees are dying down. It is cold, but what can these athletes produce here on this newly laid track at the NTU Cork campus? And we are cleanly away. And Diggs on the outside there in lane 7 is away to an absolute flyer. Can Becker stick with her? Tori Lewis in the orange in the middle, going very, very well around the bend. And Phil Healy, bit of work to do in lane 4, but is holding on strong to these athletes. And Lewis in the middle there is looking very good, coming into the home straight, as is Talitha Diggs there out in lane 7. And on the inside, Vermeulen going very, very well. Phil Healy coming through strong, as is Becker. But it's going to be very, very close on the line here. Tori Lewis from Talitha Diggs. 23.03, a bit of a clash there for Phil Healy from her lane mate Vermeulen beside her. But brilliant running there. 23.03. We'll just see what the win pops up as. Tori Lewis, the young Australian teenager, takes the win, takes some good scalps, and it is 23.01 on the clock from Diggs 23.09. So that is a really, really big scalp from her, Tori Lewis.
But she's been doing that all year, Ger. Beat Kerry Richardson at the Jamen Diamond League earlier this year in April. Did the 19-year-old Aussie. What a performance. She was under 23 seconds there, just outside it tonight, but she'll be running at the World Under 20 Championships in Lima. And I was talking to her just after she beat Kerry Richardson, and I was like, is this a bit surreal? And she went, yeah, as soon as I crossed the line I was like, what the and then she said, what the hell? She was in disbelief that night, but tonight I think
American listeners.
Tonight I think the disbelief is worn off, and Tori Lewis is getting very used to competing at this level. The Aussies are very excited about her prospects, with Brisbane 2032 on the agenda. That Olympics in 8 years' time. She'll be 27 then.
Yeah,
but so much to look forward to for her.
Taking scalps all around, and Shane Vermeulen with a great run there, 23.31. Very, very close behind from 3rd right down to 6th, with Lauren Rain Williams 23.33, 34 for Phil Healy, and Sophie Becker with a nice big half-second PB of 23.51. Phil Healy will be happy enough to be the first Irish woman across the line as well. As always, that'll be we need to wait and see what the wind reading was. The gauge hasn't popped up on the clock just yet. See, was that one legal? Because if it is, it'll be a nice season's best for Phil Healy. But brilliant racing all around, very, very exciting. Great run into the home straight from Tori Lewis, and held off Talitha Diggs. You see those men's 3,000 metre athletes, or 800 metre athletes rather, get their results. I can hear Phil Healy confirming it's the season's best on the infield there, as we just see the photo finish. Really, really tight one there from that is Healy and Lauren Rain James.
That's the 800 metres. That's Louise Shanahan. That was the photo finish for second, and you can see there Louise Shanahan's torso on that ASIC strip closest to the camera, I think, just getting that. But a fun one for the judges to pour over there to try and sort them out. Of course, it's not a first point in your body, it's the first point on your torso that crosses the line, whether that's your chest or your shoulders. Confirmation of that result in the women's 200 metres. Tori Lewis of Australia taking victory in 23.01. Talitha Diggs in second, 23.09, and Chan Vermeulen in third, 23.31. And a strong run and the second race of the evening for Phil Healy. Perfect way to send her off to the Paris Olympics, where she'll be part of the squads for the women's 4x4 and indeed the mixed 4x4.
Yeah, 1.3 metres per second wind there for that one, so that's a really good performance from Phil Healy there for season's best. She's happy out with that one. And we're going to pop down trackside once again to Trevor.
Well, Sophie, tough competition here in Cork tonight. What was it like for you?
I've never done it. Well, I haven't done it too in like 6 years, so it was different. I didn't really know how to run it, but I thought I'd have no lactic or anything. Rude of me to think that. I'm like still a bit gassed after it, but no, I'm happy for that as my first two in a long time. A good marker. Do I think I can go faster in better conditions? Yes. But no, I'll take that. I'm happy with it.
Good track as well later in the MTU. What was it like to run it?
Lovely. It's a fast track, definitely. I think my body's just not not ready for it at all, but no, it's great facilities here.
All the preparations going on in Paris in a few weeks' time, all the excitement is building.
Yeah, hopefully. Training's going well. I didn't really have a big block of training since like April, so it's really good now. I have a few weeks of a lot of work to do because May and June I was racing a lot, chasing the standards, so no, it's nice to have a few weeks now just to prep.
6 Irish Olympians running tonight, 3 of them from Cork locally here, but just what does it mean to you personally to be representing Ireland in Paris?
Like, it's the pinnacle of our sport, the highest competition there is, and the highest
level, like representing your country. Like, there's nothing better than that, and the support, community feel over the last few weeks after Rome and everything, it's just been next to nothing. So it's great that we can do the country proud in Paris.
Well, just the last one, Sophie, the relay team been terrific. How much more do you think you need to improve in the Olympics now? The bar will be raised, of course, in Paris, but how much can this team improve, do you think?
Like that time that won the silver medal is world class. I'm pretty sure it would have medalled at previous Worlds and Olympics. Saying that, it's the Olympics, as we said, everyone's going to bring, that was our A game, we have an A+ game, you know. Everyone's going to bring it to Paris, including us, so it's exciting. The team that we have, it's such a great team to be a part of, and I think it's a very exciting few weeks ahead for us, yeah.
It's like good to see you in Cork, Sophie. Well done.
Sophie Becker looking forward to individual and team participation at the Paris Olympics. First time ever as an individual. She just got in on the rankings there. It was a nervous week, but she's in the 400 metres and she'll also be part of the relay squads. Brilliant to see the Wexford woman, and they'll be dancing at the crossroads during the Paris Olympics as she goes up against the world's best. And Ger, as her coach, joint coach, I'm sure you can tell us a bit about her preparations.
I can tell her how forgetful she is anyway, saying she hasn't raced a 206 years when she ran one last summer, but that's what you get when races don't go well, the memory is short-lived. But she ran a similar time with a +4 or 5 wind in Santry this time last year, so to do it with a legal wind this time around is a much better performance.
There you go, Ger. Call out her excuses.
Absolutely, yeah. Back into, as she said, a big block of training now to try and catch up. When you're chasing races all summer, it's hard to get the actual work done, so like Sarah Lavin, and I'm sure like Phil Healy is as well, they're all into real prep mode, heavy training to get ready for those Paris Olympics, because they are still a couple of weeks away. It's still time to get some work done and sharpen the X then 10 days out or so, and get ready to drop some fast times in relays and individuals.
Absolutely. As we see there, a yawn on the left. Talitha Diggs is bored of all this. She's like, I only get excited for gold medals. Silver means nothing to me, as a former NCAA and US champion. And she's got some serious pedigree in the family as well. Her mother, Joetta Clark, an outstanding runner, 4-time Olympian she was. And her grandfather was Joel Lewis Clark, a famous high school principal depicted in the movie Lean On Me.
Oh.
There you are now.
That's info for you.
Come for the athletics. Come for the athletics.
Doesn't even have his phone.
Stay for the Hollywood information. Courtesy of David Keneally. Thank you, David.
We are in the presence of absolute royalty here. But as we said, Diggs just outside the US team this year, unfortunately, but has world medals in her back pocket, world gold medals in her back pocket from Oregon previously. Really world-class athlete. Tori Lewis putting it up to her there. She will be off to Paris to show her talent in the 200 and the relay. Women's 4x1, joined by her teammate Christy Edwards, who won that women's race 1 of the 200 metres. And let's see what the men can do up next. They'll be happy to see those legal wind times for sure in those previous women's races. So things have calmed down from those +3s that we've seen previously. But down to legal winds. Still a bit chilly, but sprinters will be ready to show out and perform. See the timetable there. So we're just down to the 2 men's 200 metre races, followed by that Cork City Council mile. Finishing us off here, the mile always full of drama here in Cork. What can time produce, as Cahill said. Cahill Doyle in there. He will be off to Paris in the 1500 metres, but he's got his work cut out for him here this evening against a host of international talent. That is men's race 1 of the 200 metres lined up. So we have a extra athlete in lane 1 who I just can't figure out at the minute in the Leavelle singlet, but we don't have him on our start list. Adam Murphy is in lane 2 there, the Tinryland man from Carlow. He was in the final of the National Championships last year. It is Jack McGrath, of course, in lane 1, a fantastic sprinter and hurdler in his own right. Out to lane 3 then Andrew Egan, a medalist at the Irish Championships last year. Joe Ferguson goes in lane 4. Mark Smith, the Irish national champion, goes in lane 5. National record holder indoors, that 2064 indoors is really superb running. His fastest overall, so he needs to try and break that outdoors. How fast can he go here tonight in Cork? He has got Oskar Zgrava outside him, the man who took 3rd in that race 1 of the 100 metres earlier today, the Latvian national champion over the 1 and the 200 metres. Rob MacDonald, a real special talent battling injuries over the last couple of years. What can he do here today? Got a silver. They're just called off their marks there once again. Got a silver at the National Championships last week with a really strong second 100 metres. Looked a little bit conservative on the bend, so will he be a bit more aggressive here tonight and see what he can do? Open up those legs, and Teddy Wilson will go out in lane 8 for Great Britain. So Ferguson has gone to 20.2 in a couple of years ago, back in 2022. The man from Great Britain. So if he can get back into that sort of form here, he's going to give the lads a really, really good rattle. But on form, I think season's best, it is Mark Smith in the middle, lane 5 of Ireland, the national champion, called back to their marks. Jack McGrath, Adam Murphy, Andrew Egan, Joe Ferguson, Mark Smith, Oscar Grava, Rob MacDonald and Teddy Wilson. Nice and calm, 1 metre per second showing on the infield wind gauge on our marks. Race 1, Sport Ireland 200 metres. And we are cleanly away, and a nice start there from Mark Smith, and outside him Grava's going very well as well, and it is the Latvian man who has a nice bit of a lead here coming into the bend. Out on the outside there as well, Teddy Wilson having a good run, but it looks like as the bend unwinds, Mark Smith is clear by a metre or two. Inside him there is Joe Ferguson having a good run as well, and Mark Smith is going to hold on to the line. He looks tying up a little bit, 20.62. It's a personal best. Joe Ferguson really put it up to him towards the end there. You could see Smith just tying up a little bit of a grimace on his face as he crossed the line. Hopefully that was just out of frustration rather than anything else, but he looks healthy. He's annoyed that he hasn't gone under that 20.6. It's 1.5 win, so it is legal. 20.60. Not quite into the 20.5s as he would maybe have wanted to do, but brilliant run. Joe Ferguson takes second, 20.67. 20.89 for Oscar Grava there in third. That's a really good run from him as well, man. We got to up as far as 13th at the Rome European Championships a couple of weeks ago. Rob MacDonald 21.00, round into a bit of form again. Teddy Wilson 21.01. Andrew Egan 21.28, and Adam Murphy with a season's best since his injury in the middle of the summer with 21.86. Jack McGrath 22.16 from a tight lane 1, very good run. Mark Smith just prowls back up, and we see the replay here outside him there. Oscar Grava had a great start, and Ferguson as well. It was really level. Egan out very well. Adam Murphy a little bit of work to do, but in lane 2 the tall man had a unfavourable lane on the outside there. Teddy Wilson going very well in the Nike strip. Rob MacDonald left it late again, as we've seen at the National Championships. We just see here with 10 metres to go, Mark Smith just looked like he was under a bit of pressure with Grava and Joe Ferguson either side of him, smelling the blood and coming hunting. Joe Ferguson coming home like a train, but a little bit too late, and Mark Smith the clear and comprehensive winner there of race 1 of this men's 200 metres. We can see Grava there just come by Rob MacDonald. Mark Smith up running and tall, and Joe Ferguson with a lot of work to do there, just a little bit conservative on the bend, but when he came into the home straight he started working nice and hard. And Mark Smith there in the green and white of Raheny Shamrock, just a little grimace there, 5 metres out. Raheny Shamrock, who will have 3 athletes going to the Olympic Games, including Sophie Becker, who we saw in that previous race for the women. And there is confirmation of that result of the Sport Ireland race 1 for the men's 200 metres. Irish champion Mark Smith takes that one from Joe Ferguson with a great run at 20.67. This is at 20.28 at his best a couple of years ago. Oscar Grava at 20.89. A couple of places ahead of Mark Smith overall in Rome, so it's a nice scalp to take. And Rob MacDonald edging back down towards those 20-point marks. He is 20.5 at his best a couple of years ago, so staying healthy, and he'll be back there very soon, no doubt. So that was race 1. Race 2 will be up very shortly. And when you see a race, and effective as you say, called previously, the race 1s are the B races, but 20.6 for first and second in a B race. What are we going to see in the A race? Hopefully these lads can see what has gone before them. They'll have a look at that wind gauge and see a plus 1.5 and say, okay, it's time to let it rip here and really tear up this track.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what they can produce. No surprise to see Phil Healy is in high demand there in field. Lots of journalists looking to talk to her and grab their few words. She is a very popular lady, not just in Irish athletics, but especially in these parts. Only from 30 or 40 minutes out the road, just outside Bandon. And she'll be heading to her second Olympics in a few weeks' time. As Trevor said earlier, six Irish Olympians competing in Paris are here tonight, and it's brilliant to see such a good crowd, no doubt off the back of that hugely successful record-breaking European Championships for Ireland. You can see it there. Barely a seat to be had in that grandstand. A brilliant evening put on, and well done to all the organisers on this 70th edition. Such a historic meeting, the Cork City Sports and the organisers. So many people who live, breathe and bleed athletics, just keeping this show on the road every year, and long may it run. So just 2 races coming up. It's going to be the men's 200 metres. We're mere minutes away from that, and then we're going to be wrapping up at 10 minutes past 9 with a brilliant men's mile featuring the likes of Joe Wascombe, Nathan Green, 2 NCAA champions, Sam Preckle of the United States. So much talent in there. Sam Preckle is a 350 miler indoors. Luke Hauser as well, of course. There's a full start list. There is a lot of talent in that field, I can assure you. Just to start off up the top there, Mohad Abdi Kader is a 3:35 1500 metre runner. He'll certainly be in contention tonight, but there's a lot of talent in there. Abdi Kader is European under 23 silver medalist, 6-time national champion as well. Runs for Italy now. And just looking down the field, Callum Davies is over. He's no stranger to these Irish meetings, the young Australian. Well, he's not that young, I think he's 25 now. Sports scientist in exercise science. Had a great chat with him at one of the meetings earlier this year. Knows the ins and outs of training inside out and every trick in the book that athletes use to train and recover. And just looking down the field, Charlie O'Donovan there, number 4. He'll be in the Leavale colours, the Villanova student. Sam Preckle as well, as I mentioned, 350 indoor mile. He is very hard to beat in races like this. He was a bronze medalist in the mile at the World Road Running Championships. And look out for those 2 men down the bottom. Joe Wascombe, he is the 2020 and 2024 NCAA 1500 metre champion, and then splitting them, the difference in the middle in 2023 was his teammate up at the University of Washington in Seattle, Nathan Green, who I would say is starting favourite for that men's mile, despite how Cathal Doyle is running, despite the 3:34 and that slew of wins, the big kick he has. I think Nathan Green with a 3:32 PB recently in the final of the US trials to finish 5th in what was such a loaded race over there. Nathan Green is going to be very hard to beat, I think, in the concluding Cork City Council men's mile at 10 past 9. And great to see so many kids there. They're having a time of their lives anyway.
Yeah, we've got fans all spread around the track here as well, because luckily we haven't had any rain, so people don't have to shelter in that stand. But as I said, there's not much room for anybody in there anyway, so luckily you've got the grass dotted around with people all around.
Yeah, some brilliant highlights already this evening, as we have just a moment to reflect before this men's 200 metres. I'd have to say Sarah Lavin's win from the sprint hurdles, that was very good. Such a confidence booster. She always gets it done. She never runs a bad race, Sarah Lavin. I know she said in that interview with David Gillick on RTE in Rome that she bottled it at the European Championships, but it was anything but a bottle. If anything, she was just running too fast into that second hurdle and got too close to it and hit it with the leg. But there is a big run coming from Sarah Lavin at some point this year, and I think it's a good time to just reflect back on that win. And you can see Sarah Lavin, if she has one part of her race that herself and Coach Noel Morrissey are always on about, it's the start. It's that first 2 hurdles, but she got it tonight, Ger.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ebony Morrison just had the jump on her to hurdle 1, but as we said, Lavin so strong in that second half of the race. We just see that head-on view again. Morrison to the left of her on this screen, and I think she just rises first, but if Lavin gets a decent start, then she's going to run well always. So it was a brilliant performance and real composure to come through and get the win here in Cork.
Yeah, good stuff. Here we are. Faces for radio. Anyway,
yeah, no need for that. Screens cracking all over the country.
Jer's too excited. He refuses to sit down. He's been on his feet for the last 4 hours, ever since that primary school's mile.
Get my steps in here.
Yeah, but we're very much looking forward to the 2 races left to go. One very fast 200.
Absolutely, and
one
they
very
are in
fast
their
mile.
blocks here on their marks for the Sport Ireland race 2 of the 200 metres. We've got Matt Senjwa in lane 2. We are absent of our winner of the 100 metres earlier. Colin Doyle has replaced him, the local man. Brian Faust, the national indoor champion of the USA over 400 metres this year. Gerald Queno of Great Britain goes outside him, and we are away and clean, and Queno gets out well, but Ian Kerr, who was second place here last time around, has a bit of work to do, and we have got a pull up there. Sinisiva Dambile, one of the favourites in this one, has pulled out, and it is Ian Kerr who's going very, very well there in the Adidas strip, coming down into the home straight. Bit of work being done by Brian Faust here. He's coming through very, very well, but it is going to be Ian Kerr. Holds on. Clock has not stopped and shown up. It is an illegal wind regardless, but Ian Kerr, second here last time around 2 years ago, takes the win here tonight. He was well up there in that 100 metres earlier on today as well, of course, but 20.33 has been shown on our clock on screen. That is a fantastic run. It is an illegal wind, just a little bit too strong, but brilliant run from Ian Kerr there. Unfortunately, Sinisifa Dambile, our champion here in 2022, pulled up on the bend. Hopefully nothing too serious for him, but brilliant running from Ian Kerr, no doubt. Well clear and takes the win. Brilliant racing there. So 20.33, unfortunately that win just over the legal limit. Brian Faust, brilliant run in behind. We'll just try and see those results as if they pop up on the infield screen, but really tight for second place. And I could look at it on the replay. Faust there in the yellow and black in lane 4. As I said, just got left in the box there a little bit from Queno, the man from Great Britain. Ian Kerr was out very well, and Dembele there in the orange, the tall man, just pulls up there on the outside. Caleb Law with a good run from Australia. He will be going to the Olympics in that 4x1 relay. Man who's picked up a bronze at the World Under-20 Championships in the past. Ian Kerr running away with this one though. Look, daylight, well clear. I think Law might have got through there in lane 8 to get that second spot from Brian Faust. The 400 metre man has a best of 20.54, so he's no slouch over the 200 either, but Ian Kerr equaling his PB, but unfortunately the wind too strong, so he'll come back. He's a man who likes to be on the podium here in Cork. He's done it twice this evening, he's done it in the past, so brilliant to see him returning again. He obviously is a fan of this meet, and he always shows up with his best, and he is ready to go. Takes the title here this evening. 20.33 unofficial. Men's milers are just out prowling on the track here, getting their last bits of strides in. As we see the lineup on the screen, second page. So we're due to go off in about 10 minutes for that mile. No field event action to bring you in the meantime, unfortunately. There we see Joe Wascombe of the USA, and Nathan Green, who Cahill has picked out it as his favourite for this one. And
an absolute certainty, Ger.
I can't see past Sam Prakel. You said he's hard to beat or he's been hard to beat indoors. He's hard to beat in Ireland, Sam Prakel. He's taken home the cup at the Morton Games. He's taken the title here, Cork City Sports, in the past in the miler. He's certainly been right up there, so it's going to be all to play for here very shortly in that men's mile. Cahill Doyle, the fastest of the Irish, certainly with 1500 metres in this field. Off to the Paris Olympics. He'll be running in his Clonliffe Harriers Club singlet. What can he do? How fast can he go? How far up the field can he go? Can he stay on his feet? That's Cahill Doyle's biggest challenge in a lot of races. Comes away in a sling a lot of the times, but certainly no doubt his legs move fast, even if his arms can't hold him up.
Yeah, this is going to be a really intriguing concluding men's mile here. Absolutely no one walking away this evening. There is so much talent loaded through this field. Joe Wascombe, Nathan Green, Sam Brakel, Piers Copeland as well as in there. He's an accomplished British athlete, European Under-23 silver medalist back in 2019, but hasn't had his best season this year. Henry McLuckie as well, 22-year-old Briton, another rising star. 3:37 for 1500 this year, European Under-20 bronze medalist. But yeah, Cahill Doyle I think will be the leading Irishman in the form he's in. Anyway, Cahill Doyle, you'd have to expect him. He's won his third national 1500 metre title recently. It was such an impressive performance by Cahill Doyle, kicking past Luke McCann for victory there. He is in the form of his life, and he didn't just get a place at the Paris Olympics, he earned a place, did Cahill Doyle, the 26-year-old Clonliffe man, And of course, we remember him kicking to victory here 2 years ago. Can he repeat the performance? There is Sam Prakel just going through your shot, number 19. There's the man I've said is 100% certainly going to win this race. I jest. That is Nathan Green in the Adidas strip.
If anything is predictable, it's the mile. It's the most predictable race there is.
That's Joe Wascombe just beside him there as well in the other Adidas strip.
Yeah, we've seen some highlights already this evening and we've seen some unbelievable performances, but can this mile steal the show? We've seen a fantastic under 23 Irish record for Nick Griggs, 7:41 on the clock, breaking Dara McElhinney's record from not very long ago, the young Cork man. But Griggs came in and stole the show, got up into the top 3 in that one. The home favourite win, the men's long jump, that's 7:71 from Rhys Adamola from his county man. 7:70 in second, Shane Howard. It's been all action all evening. Men's mile. 1500 metre split here as well, Cathal, in this one. Will any of them be going for that?
I don't think so. I think in these conditions it'd probably be unwise, and there's not much, I suppose, to qualify for at the moment with that Paris window closed. But on the right of your shot there, keep an eye on that. You certainly won't miss him in that fluorescent Brooks strip. That is Luke Hauser, who of course took victory just last weekend at the Croke Park mile to commemorate the centenary of the 1924 Paris Olympics, where Ireland first competed as an independent nation.
Yeah, a unique event for people of our generation. It's certainly not something we've seen in recent history as people of athletics heritage in on the hallowed grounds of the GAA HQ there in Croke Park. It was fantastic to see a number of Dublin Track Club athletes in there as well. Shane Bracken and Sean Tobin making up the top 3. Juan Ignacio Pena, we've seen him pacemaking here earlier this evening. He was in that one doing the same job. And Hugh Armstrong in there also for the Irish, but it was a title for the USA this time around. So they're just prowling up the straight there. The basket carriers waiting patiently. Shorts and t-shirts all around in 12-13 degrees. That's the difference between Irish summer and Irish winter. Irish winter is 13 degrees and people wear appropriate clothing. In the summer they wear shorts and t-shirts in 13 degrees.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next presentation is the 200 meter.
Presentation for our 200 metre men is just about to take place underway as well. Athletes helping themselves back and onto the feet. Caleb Law suffering the effects of that one. He took the second spot. The Australian just on the line from lane 8. Just get a confirmation of those results and have a look. But as I said earlier, results.munsterathletics.com. That's MUNSTER athletics.com is where you'll find results from this evening's action. Ian Kerr, he was actually quicker than his PB, but it was an illegal win, unfortunately, and it is an overall time for presentations tonight. So Mark Smith with that legal 20.60 PB earlier gets himself onto the podium, gets a bronze medal and gets an envelope, I'm sure, at the end of the day as well, which is great for him. Caleb Law did in fact take second with 20.53. 2.7 was the win for that race 1. And Ian Kerr, the man who's been back here many times before in the past and never leaves the podium, 20.31 for the win in this one. So Brian Faust ends up in 4th with 20.61, just 100th outside that top 3. So brilliant running there from all 3 lads across the 2 races. And good to see Dorhini Shamrock, Mark Smith in 3rd. The national champion and the national indoor record holder chipping away at that outdoor PB. Maybe hoping for more fast times this summer to round off his season and get himself in good position for next summer's activities.
Yeah, there are 2 of the favourites in the centre of your shot there. The 2 University of Washington Huskies, Joe Wascombe and Nathan Green, and we're going to rip across the start line here. And there is Luke Hauser in that orange strip, and there on the inside is Sam Prakel. Look out for him as well. 350 indoor miler. This is going to be a very close one. I suspect a number of men will turn for home together here in this concluding Cork City Council men's mile. There is so much talent in here. A lot of people will be looking towards those 3 University of Washington Huskies in Nathan Green, Joe Wascombe and Luke Hauser, under the guidance of coach Andy Powell, doing such a good job there alongside Marika, his wife, who oversees the women's team up there in Seattle. We're used to seeing them in that purple strip of the University of Washington. They're all in the professional brands tonight, from Adidas to Brooks. And away they go. Sam Prakel out to a good start on the inside, and they'll just be slotting in the pacemaker of the Candor Track Club. Looks like Cathal O'Reilly is going to be doing that job on the outside, slotting up there towards the lead.
Conal Kirk, I think that is the pacemaker. Fantastic athlete in his own right. As I said, he's just a little bit of a lead at the minute, needs to relax down that back straight, but the athletes of the field coming back up towards him. It is Conal Kirk of Candor Track Club. Kicks them up through 200 in around 27 seconds, 28 seconds. So setting the pace nicely here for the lads out back, and it is stretched out already. The wind is just picking up a little bit. It's getting a little bit breezy. It'll be on their backs now as they come into the home straight, but it is off at a good pace so far, Cathal.
Yeah, and it looks like Joe Wascombe there, who's just slotted into second at the moment. He is in pole position, and eventually the pacemaker is going to step aside, and someone's going to have to be brave and keep this pace honest if they want. And right now, Joe Wascombe, the 2022 and 2024 NCAA outdoor champion, is in firm command of the pack out in behind the pacemaker as they move through. They're well under 60 seconds at 400. It is a healthy pace, but it's a sensible pace in what is a windy, cool night here at the Cork City Sports. And it looks like Wascombe now is really pulling clear of this field. Someone's going to have to wake up and make a move in that pack, because this is an athlete that you really cannot let go. Wascombe is just too good. Like I said, 2-time NCAA champion, 7th in the US Olympic Trials 1500 metre final, and sensibly there, Cathal Doyle, just recognising the danger in the pack, recognises that Joe Wascombe is not an athlete you can let go, and out he comes to the pack and starts to run after the University of Washington star of the NCAA.
Yeah, Cathal Doyle being the man to close that gap, and it is the Spaniard Anas Lagadi Shaudar who slots in behind him. I thought he was going to go, and Doyle just said, you know what, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. And he's right back up there behind Wascombe and the pacemaker Conal Kirk. So 1:58 there through 2 and a bit laps, and it is Doyle slotting in there in second place effectively from Wascombe. They've still got a little bit of a gap on the field. There's some moves being made there behind them, and it's now starting to spread out even more. It is Nathan Green, the pre-race favourite according to Cathal Denny here, my co-commentator here. Is he going to be proved right? Rarely is, sometimes often, but here we go. There's moves going on, Cathal. Everything is changing pace behind.
The cream is starting to rise to the top, and by the cream I mean those 3 University of Washington Huskies there. Right now Cathal Doyle is in a Husky sandwich there at the front, because it's 1, 2 and 3, the University of Washington men. They are Joe Wascombe, Luke Hauser and Nathan Green, and right now Joe Wascombe is leading it out, but Hauser, who had that epic win in Croke Park last week, clocking a 4:10 mile on the turf in the historic Croke Park in front of 82,000 people. It's a smaller crowd here tonight, but can he do similar here? He is on the shoulder, as he's so often been, of his training partner up at the University of Washington, Luke Hauser, tracking Joe Wascombe, as we see a bit of a clash of legs there. Callum Davies is also in there. Cathal Doyle is poised to strike, but can he produce what he needs, that magic kick? And Henry McLucky as well as in there from Great Britain. He can contend.
Yeah, 2:58 there at the bell, so a 60-second lap would be pedestrian for these men to go sub 4. And there is Cathal Doyle starting to make a move now at about 2:20 to go. He goes into 4th, into 3rd. It's a big rip of a finish here. It looks like Luke Hauser is being run out of it. He's dropping back. Doyle is moving up into 3rd. Cathal, what's going to take to win this one?
Yeah, Joe Wascombe has it. He is fully all out here around the bend, and Sam Prakel is in 2nd, Cathal Doyle in 3rd. These 3 have gapped the field. It is Joe Wascombe hanging on out front. No, it is Nathan Green out front. It is indeed Nathan Green who is pulling clear here. Nathan Green, too good. 5th recently at the US Olympic Trials. The big kick from the University of Washington Husky. Too strong for the athletes around him. Cathal Doyle's speed was no match for Nathan Green. Played a patient game, but dealt his cards at the perfect time.
Absolutely.
He comes home in front of Doyle and Sam Prakel.
3:53 3:66 unofficially on the clock in the infield. Cahill proved right as always is. He'll never let me live that one down. Cahill Doyle coming through for around a 3:54 there. That'll be a big PB for him in the mile. 3:53.67 I think is the official time on the infield clock now. But fantastic run there from Nathan Green, as he said. The pre-race was going to be the man to beat. He showed his class.
Yeah, we can see there they look in that same strip. They're about the same height and build, which is why I just confused them for a second around that final bend. But it was Wascombe in front at this point, and then it was Henry McLucky of Britain. They're all in that same Adidas strip. But you can see there Wascombe, his tank had run dry there with 200 metres to go, and it was Nathan Green at the green light with 200 to go, hits the front, and that was Sam Prakel who'd moved up into second there at that point. He had done everything he could to go with this man, Nathan Green, but very few men in world miling at the moment can go with him. As I said, 5th at those US trials. He was actually only 10th in the NCAA final, but that was very much an off-colour performance, very different to his usual standard. And as you see, Nathan Green, Cahill Doyle there just about in second. He is a big kicker, but his kick was no match for the brilliant Nathan Green.
Yeah, 3:54.48 for Doyle and 58 in third for Prakel. So really, really close, down to 55.80 for Joe Wascombe. Henry McLucky there in 5th, and we can see right down to 11th, 12th place is 3:59.46. So brilliant running all around here. 12 men sub 4. No, it's 11 men sub 3:59 and 3:53.67 for the winner. No doubt about it, Nathan Green away and clear.
Yeah, Nathan Green, as I mentioned, he was the NCAA outdoor champ last year at 3:32 PB recently. He was 5th at the World Under 20s back in 2022, which is a tough thing to do, and he is only 21 years old, so a bright future ahead. I have a feeling that a lot of people tonight will say they were privileged to see Nathan Green winning an epic men's mile to wrap up the 70th edition of the Cork City Sports. But from me, Cathal Dennehy, and from Jared O'Donnell, it's been a pleasure to be your commentators from the evening, and from us, it's goodbye for now.
Good night.